a long 3.
Oh?
Yeah, sorry.
You just said hot mics in 3.
Hot mics in 3, and then he doesn't say anything.
I missed.
That's okay. That's how we do, baby. Woo! Hot mics in 3.
Hot mics in 3.
Welcome to the Cowboys Can Fan Show, and if you got one of these, crack them if you got them, son. Nothing hits, like, drinking on a Wednesday night just hits different, doesn't it?
I don't know. Let me get into it.
Crack them if you got
Crack 'em
them,
if you want them, son. AJ and I are mixing drinks this episode.
Mixon and Dixon?
It doesn't only hit different on a Wednesday night. It hits different on a Thursday morning.
That's true. For a sec, I was like, is it Thursday morning? Am I late for work right now? Guys, I got to ask you guys, before anything, welcome to the Cowboys Can Fan Show. You got the bandwagon boys mixing some drinks over there. You got Ant Best cracking them over here. But I got to ask you guys, how are you feeling now that we're kind of a week and a half removed from that wild card shellacking? Are we all feeling better now? A little bit better?
I felt good. Sorry, I shouldn't say I felt good. But
what
I felt
doing?
I felt good that week based on the amount of love we were getting online.
Yeah, some love.
Love and hate.
Love, hate.
Love, hate. Bittersweet hate.
Punch, then kiss.
Yeah.
Kind of a punch, then kiss.
Kick you in the balls and then laugh at you. So, I mean, yeah, after 2 days, there you get those kind of annoying spurts where you're just like, how the fuck did we lose so bad?
You watch a highlight.
Yeah. Or you hear an analyst. It's when the analysts 3 weeks later are still talking about them boys.
I stay away from them. Away from them. AJ, how about you?
Look, man, I'm already in fucking full season, off season mode right now. You know.
What did your little doc say? Your off season J?
Off season J.
Off season J. I'm in off season J mode right now.
At first, when I read that, I was like, "Oh, is this a guy on Twitter?"
I thought so too.
I was like, off season J. Is this like off season J's top 100 free agents? But then I laughed about it. I'm feeling better. I'm still obviously going into the NFC AFC championship games, and then watching the divisional round on this past week. We live streamed the Niners and Packers game. We watched the Detroit Lions on Sunday make their first NFC championship game since I think 1991, becoming they had the longest drought in the NFC without an NFC championship appearance. Now the longest 2 droughts are the Washington Commanders with, I think the last time they made it was 91. Or sorry, 90, and then the Cowboys in 96, whatever it was. So we're on a drought, and now reading that, it's like thinking that the Detroit Lions are possibly playing for a Super Bowl trip this century before the Dallas Cowboys is kind of hard to believe, seeing how the Detroit Lions a couple times this century have went 0-16. So it's a little sombering, it's a little humbling, and I don't know. How do you guys feel about it?
I mean, look, it shows you if your team gets hot, doesn't really matter if you have a weakness on the side of the ball, because Detroit Lions definitely has a smoking hot offense. I would say very on par with what the Cowboys have or had. You know, season's over now.
Yeah, had. But we got to talk in past tense now.
Yeah, but defense wise, sorry, they're fairly middle of the road. I think that they probably had some better games leading out of the playoffs. But regardless, yeah, I mean, like, it's just about getting hot at the right time, and I can't be mad at the Lions. I love.
I like seeing their fans be so stoked. I do, because we think how shitty it is, right? How shitty it is that the Cowboys haven't made an NFC Championship game in X amount of years, but at least it's still built off of 3 Super Bowls and then 2 Super Bowls in the 70s.
Yeah.
What the Lions have none of that. The Lions just have their one NFC Championship appearance and then just drought and like terrible seasons. And it's cool. Yeah. It's cool to see the Ravens and the Lions. I mean, the Ravens were there a few years ago, but it's cool to see a team battling that has a chance that hasn't been in the spotlight. Like, I'm pretty sure anybody that watches football is cheering for the Lions over the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, how can you not? Well, except for Nate Dogg.
Well, except for Nate Dogg.
Nate Dogg won't be doing
that. And I don't know if he's here because we are going to stream it.
He said we told him he had to be here, but if he's a no-show.
If he no-shows and they lose, that's because he wasn't here.
Yeah, exactly.
his player. Shoot, I'm having a trouble thinking of his fucking
Jennings,
name.
Juszek.
Deebo Samuel did not show up to practice today. So if he's injured, and I was on the 8:00 spot last night on the Grid Network, and Mike had this.
Mike, I love fucking Josh Allen Guido.
Yeah, Mike Guido had this to say, and I tend to agree with him that if Deebo Samuel isn't playing,
different team.
he's giving it to the Lions. If Deebo Samuel is playing, he's giving it to San Fran.
It's a complete different team without Deebo. I'm going to ask you guys this, though. With the 4 teams going, you got the Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And hello, I'm Patrick Mahomes. I'm here. And then you have the Lions and the Niners. Who are you guys thinking? Because we're going to talk a little bit about this, and then we'll hop into Cowboys stuff. But it's the NFC AFC Championship. We've got to touch on a little bit. Who do you guys think's going to take those games?
I'm on board with Guido. I'm gonna take the Lions at this point. You know, if
Sans Deebo.
KC and Ravens is a little bit harder. The line is just a -3.5 in Baltimore's favor, so coin flip.
That's coin
very,
flip.
very damn close.
Very,
to
very
coin
close.
flip, especially
Yeah.
at home.
At
right?
home, that's essentially a -3 is saying you're 50-50. So a -3.5, it's
And that's
48 or 52% leaning towards the Ravens.
And the thing is, yeah, the Chiefs' luck has to run out at some point. But is it luck, or do they still just have the proper elements? I mean, Rashee Rice and really turned it on at the end of the year. And to me, I was like, man, if they can get a wide receiver just to be that second guy next to Kelsey, who's really their number 1 receiver on the team.
Yep.
Oh, they're going to have a big turnaround on offense. I don't know if we're necessarily seeing that as big as I thought. Well, I know that we're not, but you can never count out Mahomes in the playoffs. You can never count out that Chiefs team. They are playing in Baltimore, so I think that gives Baltimore the little bit of edge. And I haven't seen anything in Baltimore to suggest that they're slowing down either. So that's going to be a tougher game. If you're holding my feet to the fire, I'm going to say Ravens, Detroit, final Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in line with J over there. I think Patrick Mahomes is very deadly, so I think it's going to be
Let's go.
it's going to be the toughest battle for the Ravens going into the Super Bowl to get to the Super Bowl.
Also the toughest battle for the Chiefs, though.
Plus the toughest battle for Mahomes. I think their Mahomes and the Chiefs are clicking at the right time. Patrick Mahomes. He's in the last 6 years as him being a starter, so not his first year when he was a rookie, but his 6 years as a starter, he's made the AFC Championship every single time.
It's pretty insane.
He has 2 Super Bowl wins.
He's on pace right now. Everyone thought Tom Brady all the Super Bowl wins. If Mahomes wins a Super Bowl this season, the 7 that Brady has isn't out of reach.
Not at all.
It really isn't. How crazy is that? That's insane. But he has to get past the Ravens first. Yeah. But still, if he does that, even the stat of being a starter and making these AFC championship after AFC championship, his first ever playoffs besides the Super Bowl played away from Arrowhead was last week against the Bills. That just shows how dominant they've been since they've been there. With saying that, no one wants to see the Chiefs win. It's that thing when it's that recency bias. Like nobody wants to see the guys that have been there every time. Give me Lamar Jackson.
Well, hang on. Let me finish my thought on it, and then we can go on. Detroit is on such a good momentum with the way that their team is feeling and the way that their team is playing. All of the leaders on their team in terms of records were all rookies. You got Laporta, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, and you got Branch, who are all leading with stats. So that team is believing hard that they have what it takes to make it to the Super Bowl. So I think this weekend is going to be some great ball. Both games are going to be solid games to watch. And then as long as it's not the Chiefs, and just because who wants to see the Chiefs, I want to see Ravens Detroit. That's the most interesting one. I don't want 49ers to be there, but that's Detroit Ravens.
And then Ravens over the Lions, because we don't want the Lions winning a Super Bowl.
No, fuck it, exactly.
Before the Cowboys.
Listen, the Ravens get to the Super Bowl, they're winning the Super Bowl.
I'm always going AFC team if it's not the Cowboys there. So
yeah. So here's the options that we have though. Let's say Detroit wins against 49ers. Who do you want to see? Them play KC or them play Ravens? Okay.
Yep.
And if 49ers get in, who do you want to see? Ravens?
Yeah.
Both times? Because 49ers, KC kicking it back again, I know sometime, but that could be that has a lot of excitement.
I think
to
that
it
was
as
the
well.
COVID Bowl, wasn't it? The KC versus the Niners. I'm pretty sure that's when
Yep.
that was the COVID bowl,
Yep.
2021 or whatever.
But that's like, running it
2020.
back and
But it was played in 2021.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Big shout out to chat. We got a lot of heavy hitters in here tonight. Dallas Cowboys, Chris.
What up, Chris?
Bot G, aka Boots on the Ground. Eric, our main man, Supermod, Kilo motherfucking Seesaw. I was going through that. I wasn't sure if you were going to do a Boots shout out there.
missed it because I was
That's all good.
thinking.
It's all good, baby. And then someone that we haven't
I
seen
tune
for
you out. I tune you out. I'm
can,
sorry.
and you can.
I'm sorry. Somebody trying to talk to me while I'm working?
You are a sad, strange little man.
Oh, Toy Story drop. Okay. Hey, AJ was looking for that one.
I know
he was looking for that one.
And then our boy Rolando Rodriguez, we haven't seen him for a while. He goes,
There he
Cowboys
is.
can fan. What's up from South Texas? Only the Cowboys with family drama. Cheers. Crack 'em if you got 'em. Go Cowboys.
Yeah, let's go.
Roro.
Okay, well,
So-
guys, back to Cowboys news. Now that we did a little flirtation route with the NFL postseason, what do we got on the docket tonight, son?
Well, before we move on that, we are going to be live streaming, correct?
Yes.
Shit, yeah, we are. So we're going to do the NFC Championship game because we always follow the route of teams that knocked out the Cowboys, unfortunately, and then have been knocked out. So Green Bay beat Dallas.
Does this
San Fran beats Green Bay. Therefore, we are watching Detroit versus the 49ers.
Do you like it better that we're like so many more removed from the Cowboys loss now for the teams that are
See,
left
so
in,
it
or
was
would you
kind of
rather
weird.
have-
It was kind of weird. Because Niners fans are the worst online. They're very close to Eagles' depth as far as an online presence. That's all strictly I'm going.
I'd say
with.
a little bit worse almost.
Maybe because they're pretty loud. So it's like I kind of wanted Green Bay to beat them just to be like, okay, Green Bay's actually legit. They beat they spoke the Cowboys, then they beat the Niners, and then they went to the NFC Championship game. The Green Bay Packers gave the Niners a run. They really did. Like, they actually probably should have won that game. San Fran did not play very good football. Brock Purdy looked very human, and it goes back to what you were saying, AJ. Without Deebo Samuel, they didn't look like the same team. But yeah, I mean, I'm through my 5 steps of grief of Cowboys getting knocked out, and I just want to watch a good football game that we're gonna live stream.
I mean, I'm up for doing both if y'all want to come out earlier, but NFC game for sure.
Oh, maybe I will.
I will. We'll talk about it. I mean, we're all gonna be watching it anyways.
Yeah, maybe
for
I
the
will.
most part.
It starts at 12.
Yeah.
I'll come. We can throw it on. Split them into 2 streams or just do one big one.
I'll
We'll
tr-
talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Championship weekend stream.
We'll see. We'll
Woo-wee.
see. If the people are here, then we just fucking keep it going.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're right after another, right?
Yeah, they're
Bing,
like
bang, boom.
maybe 15, 20 minutes in between.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on today's show, we got some family drama. CD's mom, as well as Dak and Micah's brothers, take on Cowboys Nation, and we're gonna dive in to what was said, who should be put in timeout, and how we think this could play out for the Dallas Cowboys. Is it going to have any negative side effects? Then we are also going to be discussing Dak's inevitable extension, ? He has a salary hit of $62 million this year. That's coming up. That's too much. And luckily, there's some contract trickery that could free up to 29% of that hit. That's $18 million. Jerry Jones and his boys have always have a trick up their sleeve, as does most GMs in the NFL. And we'll be discussing that Dak Prescott extension chatter and who else needs to give them boys a break this year. Then Dan Quinn, is he going to be returning to Seattle? I mean, that's the noise.
That's the hoopla.
That's the hoopla that he might be returning to Seattle, and will Chip Kelly be joining him for a second round?
Chip Kelly,
in the
interesting.
NFL. This is what I hear. This is what the rumors say. We're going to break down that the authenticity of these rumors, or just like where DQ is going, and the likelihood of DQ leaving the Cowboys and who should replace our DC in the Big D. And then finally, is it just us, or does it feel like Dallas Cowboys should break the bank and go all in this year? The foundation has been laid, But what should the Dallas Cowboys do this offseason to really send the message that they are here to compete for a Super Bowl? Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl,
Super Bowl.
We will share our thoughts, all that, and a bunch more, and a huge amount of crackums, BYOB, on today's show.
Bring your own boosh, baby. The
Bring
funny
your own
thing
boosh.
is, when I see the family drama stuff, which we're about to hop into,
You hear Jerry.
no. I
Jerry,
always think of it
Jerry.
like if Ad got famous and was like a professional football player, actor, I'd be that guy on Twitter. I'd be the one on Twitter just arguing with people, and Ad would be like, Anthony Bessie's opinion is completely his own. It has nothing to do with me. And I'd be like,
I've had to do that in real life.
I know, but
I'm
it's
joking.
just less.
No, I'm
it's not
joking.
magnified because we're not famous. But I would definitely be Terrence Parson or CeeDee Lamb's mom or Tad Prescott. Any of these guys, that would be me battling.
You're CeeDee Lamb's mom, and we'll get into that.
Hey, look.
Like,
So,
sorry, I was going
Nice
to say,
nice tits.
nice tots. When we're talking about doing the stream this weekend, guess who said he might fly up for it?
Who?
Big fella. He's
No
saying-
way.
He goes, maybe I'll come up too.
No way.
I
Oh,
said, don't tease us, baby.
Don't tease us, baby.
Don't tease us. He's the one. He wants that poutine.
He wants
He's
that,
so hot right now.
he wants that poutine and that cocaine.
He wants that poutine and some
baby.
cocaine.
So about this drama though, then it's funny because it's
Yeah.
right into this first week of the off season. It's just like a shitstorm of stuff. But break us down. What do we got? So we had CD's mom.
yep. So yes, CD's mom saying, do you want me to just go through
Yeah,
all
go
the
through.
quotes and then
Let's-
we can
yeah.
go back to the top? So CD's mom said, Dak isn't it. And then someone said, tell the youngin, in her commented on her post, tell the youngin to come home to the home team. CJ would love him, referring to Houston. And Dak's mother said, shit, I wish he would. CJ is great. So, just CD's mom said that. So, Dak's brother said, Dak Prescott, I got a little confused because there were so many of them. Dak's brother, I too want him out of Dallas, and he was responding to a post, and then he also followed up with, I've never spoken badly about the Cowboys organization. It's just so-called fans I have an issue with.
Which I understand.
Yeah, and I'm kind of paraphrasing some of this. And then he also posted a follow-up DM. We'll look at that as well, where fans are just getting in his inbox. Then finally, Micah Parsons' brother, Terrence Parsons Jr., responded to an image of Dak backing up Big Mike on the podium. Someone posted, and he says, I'm questioning your future, LMFAO. Take
Too many O's.
Too many O's.
Was it capitalized?
No, just bad grammar. And at least he capitalized I, but everything else is just a run-on sentence. And then take 40 million or pack your bags. I ain't gonna lie, you need all the help you can get. So basically,
He's just riding on the initial one.
Yeah.
The initial thing was his initial thing. Terrence Parsons Jr. His initial thing was talking about Micah leaving the Cowboys. So he had a big one about Micah leaving the Cowboys, and then Micah came out, and this is such drama. Then Micah came out saying, "Don't listen to what my brother said. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with me because Terrence Parsons Jr. was saying Micah wants out, and once he's gone, Cowboys fans are going to be mad. That was the big one with him.
Oh, yeah. I only saw the one that I just really saw the statement, and then that other one that Alex was talking about.
This is Micah Parsons' comment. Any comments made by Terrence Parsons Jr. are his and his alone. As you know, if I have something to say, I'm not afraid to say it. I love my team. My brother's on my team in the city of Dallas, and I'm more committed than ever to bringing a championship season in 1976.
Woo! Dazed and Confused. Love that drop.
But yeah, so Micah's brother was spouting off about Micah leaving. And then I guess he's double downing and going about Dak now too. But this was the biggest.
Hold on a second. Slow your roll. You need to calm down.
We actually got tagged. Martez Wright tagged us there. And then I commented back, damage control.
So I think one of the problems here though is that he deleted that post, so I couldn't get the original post.
Oh, gotcha.
Gotcha.
But it's like the one that you mentioned where he was slagging. So this was
We're
all
like internet sleuths. We're like doing internet true crime but for NFL.
It might be out there.
Netflix doc coming up.
I couldn't find it, but then this is This is also what Terrence said. Bro, they said I launched a verbal attack on Dak because I believed he should take a team-friendly deal because he wants to bring this team to a championship. So,
I mean, he didn't say that, though.
He didn't really say
He
that.
didn't say that. He basically mockingly said, better take 40 mil or pack your bags. That's a lot different than what
I saw that one.
Well, that's what AJ just
Yeah,
read.
yeah.
That's a lot different than I said you should take a team-friendly deal because you should want to bring a team a championship instead of take 40 mil or pack your bags. There's a pretty big difference between those two statements.
And I hope Dak takes 30 mil.
There is
25.
We know how the internet is, and like regardless of how we think we are, like everyone's gonna take everything out of context because they don't know what's going on and they're just reading the actual words. So I'll give him that. That's not a bad thing to say. I actually agree with him in this statement that he said.
This statement.
Yes.
But that's not the statement he started off with.
No, but I don't even.
This is perfect.
But here's the thing. It's not there for me to see, so I don't know how this whole thing kicked off.
But you read it already.
I know, but then I thought you mentioned there was another one before.
No, but the one before was about Micah.
Oh, okay.
The one before was about Micah.
So, but whatever, like, I'm not going to take a guy's one sentence
and
be like, oh, well, you don't have. It's like if you're going to clarify that for sure, you also have to realize who you are and that like your rebuttal is not going to get picked up on the news. They're going to take what you say and then like that's pretty much it. So, I mean, this is, and we could talk about these other ones too, but the biggest kind of standout here is like all of these family members and just get used to it because this is like where we are now in the world. They have a voice and people are going to go and look. I accept Micah Parsons' brother, Terrence Parsons Jr., much more than I do Patrick Mahomes' brother.
TPJ. Honorable mention says, Can fans, how do y'all feel about the players not coming to the aid of Dak? Seems to me they probably feel some type about number 4, and then he follows it up with saying, why didn't CeeDee Lamb come to Dak's aid?
Or you're just staying the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Like
CeeDee
I'm just
Lamb
like,
staying out of it.
Just like you see something about your mom talking about your quarterback. You call mom up and you go, hey, yo, mom, pipe down.
Yeah.
But you don't at her or you don't publicly say, no,
Yeah.
I think you just step back and let it die off. It's the Cowboys Nation is it's a huge fan base, right? It's a heavy emotional fan base. It doesn't change with the parents. You got to think these parents see on ESPN and Fox, like all these sports channels, the Cowboys being talked about all the time, right? All the time. You don't see this stuff happen with other franchises because they're not in the news as much as the Cowboys. So the parents and the brothers, they feel pressure too. And they're getting like Tad and Terrence and CD's mom. They probably get messages from crazy fans.
Oh, 100%.
Right? So it just kind of fucks with their psyche.
There's one thing is like everyone deserves to be a human being and not have to restrict their lives. However, you got to understand that when a family member is put into a spotlight, people are going to come and hound you, and like you need to protect yourself. And if you can't handle the heat, then you have to make your accounts private so people can't, like, there are options to avoid that. The problem is, and I think it's with Terrence Parsons Jr., is he is a big, and I hope it might be with Dak Prescott, but I think it's Terrence Parsons Jr., but he does, like, a bunch of his posts, because I was trying to find that original post and I couldn't, but a bunch of his posts are like, tap into my next podcast. Like,
Yeah.
this, so like
self-promote.
So like he is
Everybody has a
also
podcast
sees
these
the
days.
benefit in this being something good for his
100% it is.
for whatever it is he's trying to do.
Well, I mean, like, look, at the end of the day, if I'm a player and a family member is saying something that could potentially affect the money I'm about to get coming out of a rookie deal because maybe I have too much trauma or baggage, that becomes a problem. But I also believe that the players are saying to the other family members, ride this wave with me. If you're getting love from the online community, getting attention, say what you want. I think in this instance right here, you do take a Tad Prescott or a Micah Parsons or Micah Parsons Jr.
I know it's Terrence.
Terrence Parsons Jr. or a CeeDee Lamb's mom, which I don't know her name. I apologize, CeeDee Lamb's mom. We met her dad and we met CeeDee Lamb's dad at the experience. He wasn't saying Dak isn't it there, but you're thinking that, oh, they've heard something, right? Well, it's funny when you listen to other people comment on like what's going on, because again, this is all over. This is on like every day they're talking about the Cowboys drama, so we have to talk about it. But other players who are analysts on shows, like this stuff happens. This stuff has been happening all the time.
Yeah,
and you're right, Anth. It's blown up even more because it's the Cowboys. We lost yet again, and we're in that perpetual Cowboy cycle when it says like, here you are here.
yeah.
That's where are right now. This is always going to happen. It's going to get blown up. Hopefully, it doesn't affect anybody's bag. Hopefully, Mike. I mean, it's not going to affect Micah Parsons' bag.
No,
It's not going to affect CeeDee Lamb's.
Not
going to say that
chance.
they're difficult players if they're not the ones that are saying shit.
It's like I said, it goes back to before we got into any of this. If you were on a major platform and people were mouthing you off or people were unhappy with you, I would probably say something too.
Yeah.
Look, I have no problem. I'm just saying, if you were going to play that game, then you have to be okay with people coming at you, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, there are ways to like you could still have an account where everyone can see what you say, but you can mute or block people.
Yeah, but they like it.
Well, that's okay. Then one of the things was a guy showing his one of the brothers,
wiener?
one of the bros, was showing a screenshot
It's
of,
Tad,
of his
Cowboys
DM.
fans. Why continue to DM me? And then he went.
Oh, and then he showed. So that's like, okay. I mean,
yeah, because you know how probably annoying it is. Yeah,
No,
you're
it's
right. You're right.
annoying. My
Restricted,
point-
But you can restrict
Yes.
comment.
my
Yes,
point
of course,
is
of
like you
course.
can still be as vocal as you want by not allowing people to affect you, or so that you're getting in an argument. It's one thing to have an opinion and say it, and then when you start, like, I'm just saying, for your own sanity, do what you want, but protect yourself so you're not getting in arguments with 50,000 people in your DMs blowing you up. Because if you say something, you have to realize it's going to get a reaction, right?
I think
That's why you're saying
I
it.
actually think Tad Prescott's response to it
No,
is
no. Because he's initially been loud on Twitter and stuff before.
But
So
I'm
the whole
saying,
reason-
I'm saying that on just this one isn't as bad.
Fuck him.
Oh,
Tad Prescott, get fucked.
how many?
Hey.
Okay, so here's the
Let's
other
start
thing.
with that. Tad Prescott, get fucked.
Since all of these players,
Come at me, son.
all of these players. Let's go brother versus brothers tag team. You Tad and Dak versus you and me.
I could take Dak. I could take Tad.
I'll take Dak.
You could take Dak.
I'll take Dak in those fucking.
I
mobile
need
hips.
you, man. Imagine Dak's big floppy feet and you getting a jiu-jitsu.
Oh, I'd fucking
ankle twist on
I'd
him.
get him. I'd get his ass. Kilo C says it best. All three of them need to pull up to the Can Fan Sunday service.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Hell
yes.
yes.
I was just last thing we're going to talk about family drama, and then we're going to move the fuck
Well,
on.
how do you know?
Oh, sweet. I thought you were going through it, so fine. I'm happy to hunker down on it. Think about even down to Pee Wee. We sit in the stands, and I watch my son play, and I have to look over to Bandwagon Baba or even my wife and say, "You can't say that thing loud. You don't know whose team members' parents are in there." Like I grew up watching you play football. You know how many times you say, "Man, the quarterback is trash. What is he doing? He's a coach." Like, so it's been going on since they've been in Pop Warner football. Like this type of
You get
talk
defensive.
No, it's
It happens.
amplified by
But it's-
social media.
Yes,
and
definitely.
and the
I
millions
agree,
and
Ant.
millions of dollars.
I agree, and they like it in a sick and twisted way.
They do. They say something crazy, and I mean, this thing blew up at 1.3 million views on it.
Now, our boy,
Dak, people are looking at me. Dak, that's Tad Prescott.
our boy and very recent Can Fan guest, Tony Romo, had something to say and was retweeted by Terrence Parsons Jr.
Okay.
Oh, that's
So-
why you're like, how do I know?
Yeah,
You're
Kyle
right.
Yazzie says exactly what I was saying. Cowboys Nation, just super soft right now. Families of players can have their own thoughts, and it's not being directly related to the players.
Exactly. 100%. That's the key. That's the key thing right there. That's it. That kind of cements it. Realistically.
And look, as much as, like, I will agree, and we don't see it, but I can imagine with the size of Cowboys Nation, even if only 1% of them are disgusting, unhonorable or inhonorable trolls, that's still a shit ton of people who can annoy the fuck out of you. Because I'm not going to say
Yeah.
that Can Fan is perfect. Like, we are probably have a significant amount of annoying fans too from another team's perspective. I'm not
Oh,
saying
definitely.
no one in this room or really any of the circles that we run with. We're all pretty mild-mannered, true Cowboys fans, but there are ones out there who they are I would say that they're probably more in the like less logical side of things and very knee-jerk reactions. And those people are going to fill your messages or your timelines with like hateful comments. Then there's the logical Cowboys fans who are going to say things that are more like either productive or just more logical. In when you read it, you're like, okay, you're not just coming out and saying you suck or fine, take Dak. We don't care. We don't want him anyways. Like, that's literally just like middle school, high school, arguments. So
Bitching, crying, pointing fingers.
yeah, and I'm not saying TGR is that at all. I agree with TGR.
No, I agree completely with TGR. Well, I think that sums it up. What TGR said, and we can move past that. And again, it's emotions are high. People still want Cowboys the news cycle, and it just kind of plays into that. But at the end of the day, who gives a fuck what someone's family member says about the team? They have nothing
It's
to
your
do with
choice
it.
now.
Well, Anth, I wish no one did, but a fucking shit ton of people do, don't they?
Facts.
I mean, people tweet me all the time about Anth. It's like, geez, your brother was really looking yoked with his shirt off this past. Tell your brother's just really mad after that loss,
Is that
right?
math? Is math?
My favorite comment on one of the videos about me was, man, the first guy had a super annoying voice.
About you?
Well, I was the first person talking, so it had to be me.
There's some comments I feel like you when you read them, you're like, I just want to correct this person because they're so fucking wrong.
Oh, you have to go at it.
But I'll go through and I'll just like if sometimes I'll wake up and I'll do a quick 5-minute burst and I'll just reply to a bunch of comments and they'll be like very like questionable. Like I don't actually get aggressive. I always will like be very, I don't know. I have to bring it up and explain it all.
I'm in between. Sometimes
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
aggressive.
I like your
Sometimes I try
aggressive.
to be funny.
Yeah.
So
I always try to be funny.
I'll go aggressive, funny. I think
Oh, yeah.
aggressive, funny is the way to go.
So-
Dak Prescott salary cut. AJ, what do you got here?
Well, yeah, just on all that noise, we do have a issue with Dak Prescott. It's a small one. It's just a $62 million problem, but that's how much he's owed this season. Now, we have seen previously, and I will always look back to to Tom Brady when he did this and wonder why more teams don't or quarterbacks don't do this to free up and give them more protection or more money to get the weapons that they need. But they're going to do what's called like a switch flip, I guess, cap trick. And essentially,
Sounds like a skateboard trick.
Yeah, it sounds like a skateboard trick on a web page that looks like we're about to learn about dentistry or something. I could just see a little bit of whatever the image
it's
is.
just it's an ad.
Oh.
So
Because I think that is a tooth, actually.
An
it's a
ad
toe.
for
It's a
an ad
toe.
for
It's
toe.
a toe.
You got toe cramps.
It's a toe and some pain relief thing. I have no fucking idea. But like we mentioned earlier, Cowboys can save $18.5 million by performing what's known as a base to bonus. And I hope I got that right.
No, you're
not
right.
swatch.
That
Base
is
to
right.
bonus, where they spread out the bonus over the voided years of the contract as
Yep.
well. So
They basically take
dead money in
They
years.
take
yeah.
they take that dead money and they push it down, and it becomes a bonus. So
Or a
they
boner.
take his base salary this year and they push it to 25, 20 or 24, 25. Or sorry, 25, 26. My years are messed up.
Yeah.
And they turn those into bonuses. So you're right. You had it right.
So, but anyways, so you open up that money, 18.53 million. That would be a maximum. So let's say 15 million, just but hopefully they get that maximum. It's going to bring Dak's cap down to almost 41 million, less than Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford, which is a good place to be for Dak in terms of how much he's getting paid. Obviously, he wants to be the highest paid. Who wouldn't want to be? But I think in terms of his production and like where he is in that quarterback tier, he deserves, a A+ salary,
For sure.
especially after how he played last year for most of the season. So I think this is a no-brainer. I think it's going to happen, and
It has to if the Cowboys want to
you
do
have to.
anything.
Either you hang on. So it's either you're kind of, if you don't do the extension, you don't have cap space to really pick up any other players. In fact, you probably have to cut a lot more and then look for very low contract players to help fill in the spots. And we're already thin in too many areas where I just don't think that's viable, especially with the free agents that are set up to walk. So that being said, if you didn't do it, and for the people who don't want and want to move on from Dak, that's totally fine. To each their own. But you're looking at a 2-year potential down cycle. Cowboys could definitely,
if you get rid of Dak, you're still in the situation,
or just not extend them to get rid of him next year.
That's what I mean. You're still fucked.
You're still fucked either way for 2 years because you have to go out and just hope and pray that in 2025 there's someone available who
or Trey Lance becomes whatever third Cowboys fan wants him to be.
Yeah, and sure, if that happens, I mean, shit, I'll take his contract over Dak's. If the production's there, then of course. But the likelihood is that that's just not going to really play out. We've had a lot of time with him, a full season. So the smartest move for the Cowboys office and for the team itself is to extend the contract, barring any sort of magical trade or something where they land a better QB and for cheaper. And you look for who that is because I don't know which quarterback.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Essentially, we're gonna see a Dak Prescott restructure. It's the only thing that's gonna get the Cowboys are. And I know it's going to piss some people off, but the Cowboys are on the verge of being a very good football team. They are, and I get it. Dak's had his issues in the postseason, but starting over right now, they've already proved that they're not in the rebuild mode by bringing Mike McCarthy back on to finish out his contract. So that right there proved, okay, Dak's coming back. They're going to restructure Dak, and depending on what happens this season, that's really going to depend on what they do with Dakota Rain Prescott. Well, why don't you hit some chat up?
Well, I was just gonna go. That's what.
What do you do, chat?
Oh,
I need to look in AJ's bag.
Larry Edwards says wide open, wide open. How the fuck is he wide open? Priceless reaction. Go Niners. Then Kilo C says wide the fuck open, Jay.
Dub TFO,
yeah, that's funny.
Dub TFO, Jay. Ooh, OJ.
But speaking on like the Dak Prescott contract extension, I agree. Like when you're made a lot of money. Because we're not players, right? So all players in the NFL, when you hear analysts who are former players talk about contracts and stuff, they definitely have a very different perspective about it because as a player going in to do a job, they're looking at the amount of money the organization makes, the amount of money the NFL makes. So they're like, no, you take the money, as much money as you can get when you can get it. Very rarely do we see a quarterback like Tom Brady who's like restructures his contract to benefit the team. I think Dak Prescott, out of all of those quarterbacks out there, should be that guy or will be that guy who will do a team-friendly deal to help elongate what we have with the Cowboys right now. Specifically, if they're not going to go out and they're not going to make massive moves, they're going to draft some upcoming players to hopefully shore up some of the holes. But I don't know. Out of anybody, like going from 60 million to 40 million, like you're still making a fucking lot of money. Like that's
20 million is a huge difference on the cap, but they're not taking less money. Tom Brady didn't take less money. He got paid the same amount he would have been. He just restructured the deal.
Yeah, I know that. But what? And I don't.
But no, in fairness, Tom Brady compared to like the top 5 paid quarterbacks, he was like he never had after X amount of years, like his last 10 years, especially with the Bucks. He was one of the lowest paid starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
But whether it's 100 million or 10 million,
no, I know
the ability to do the same thing
exists
that the Cowboys are talking about here and that they did, it exists. So that's like they're not losing. This is an argument I got in with someone when I couldn't get it into their freaking head. Is like, no, he's not. They're not losing the money. Like they're like, yeah, but why would a quarterback give up 20 million? I'm like, no, he's still getting paid the 20 million. It's a fucking. To the player, doesn't know the difference, gets money, okay? Maybe there's a difference in, like, guaranteed or not, but regardless, the contract ends up being, like, they're going to get the same amount of money. To the player, doesn't notice. To the team, they save 20 million or 10 million, whatever it might be. So it was, like, a very frustrating conversation.
Well,
to try and get that in their head.
You know what I do with people like that? I put a bunch of fire emojis, and if it's in real life, I just...
Oh, this is real life.
Oh, no, but if it's real life, I just light them on fire.
Oh, okay.
So Larry Edwards, who's a Niner fan, says, Dak played the Cowboys with his contract. He has Cowboys by the balls. Quick question. How will you feel if Dak doesn't take a home discount? Thank you, Jerry. Go Niners.
He's not taking a home discount. There's no way. There's just not a chance. They're going to end up paying him. And again, they're going to restructure, right? So they're not going to give him a full new contract this year. It's not going to happen.
No.
But when he does get paid, if he's still with the Cowboys, he's going to be one of the top 4 to 5 top paid quarterbacks in the NFL.
All he needed to do was get to the NFC Championship game. It would have been another 8 years, 5 years, 6. He would have been the highest paid quarterback.
It would have been a blank check.
Yes.
Essentially. If
Yep.
he would have made NFC Championship, they would have extended him this offseason. They would have he would have become the highest paid NFL player ever. But he didn't do that, and he's still going to get paid, and he's still going to make a whopping a lot of money. He's going to make a lot of money.
Hey, and I don't know what is an incentive for these players or
Super Bowl.
the organization. I mean, the organization's motivated by a Super Bowl. I don't want to pretend to get in the head of Dak Prescott, but I agree. Like, you get the chance to get money, you have to take it. And anyone out there who has a problem with that, it's like, just think about your work. And I know it's a lot different when we're talking $50 million to $50,000, but it's about, like, okay, if your peers were making $60K, would you take $50K?
No.
Just because,
No, you wouldn't.
it's going to help the company? Fuck no.
No, you
It's
would-
like,
no one would ever.
So
No
it's
one
the
would
same,
ever.
like, the quarterback's looking the same thing.
Only reason you would do that is if, like, okay, I'll do this in an employee type situation. So say you were in a team thing, and say you could shave 60 off, 60 or go down to 50K, and say it was a team building project or something,
Right.
and the completion of that project ended up bringing something that you wanted more than money,
Right, exactly.
like a Super Bowl. Like if you were like,
Sure.
you know what I
Yes,
mean? So like
okay.
a Super Bowl, if you're like, okay, this Super Bowl is worth more than an extra 10 million a year for me,
Right.
then it makes sense.
You do a free job for someone because it might, or because it's
You
going to
want
return
something-
3 jobs or something. So,
Not even that, just that thing. Like,
well, I'm just saying for a worker's
for a worker,
man,
yes.
right? Like that's. But I know what you're saying. Absolutely,
That's the only way.
Yeah.
And that breaks down to every single
But-
separate person.
think about this as a quarterback. You're like, okay, I will take. I'll take 20 million less than I should. But then does the quarterback get to say,
Well, then that's where it gets a little murky.
okay,
and that's
but
why
you have
with
to
Tom
go out
Brady,
and get me this,
and that's what
this.
happened with Tom Brady
Yeah.
and stuff. It's like, well, then I want to say in who we draft.
EJ Savage says they're going to extend him. Trust me. If they don't, the Cowboys can't stop him from going anywhere he wants after this season.
I think, and like it's like we don't have a draft pick that even brings us into a place where we can talk about bringing in someone for a cheap 5-year contract.
We have Trey Lance, idiot.
He's coming up onto the end of his 5-year.
That's true.
He's gonna want $50 million. What
Oh,
are we gonna
yeah.
have?
What?
$50 million bench QB?
Trey Lance is the biggest paid third string quarterback of all time.
One thing I wanted to say when AJ was like, well, I'm not going to pretend to be in Dak Prescott's head. And all I was thinking, if I was in Dak Prescott's head, I would just take a look at that pants and see what I was packing.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Oh, I
Right
have, hey,
away.
listen, I have tons of photos of what he's packing. It's
That's
all
the
good.
first
I'll
thing.
show you.
Yeah, the
First thing you
do.
go for?
I'm like,
Come on.
huh, thought it'd be
Uh,
bigger.
Helos, he says, time for a crack 'em. Or do any of you guys have a crack 'em
Oh,
that
yeah.
you can do? Get a crack 'em in you.
Who's cracking?
Kilos, he wants you guys to do a crack 'em. There you go.
Crack 'em.
Sound like a
If
Wookiee
you
over there.
got him. Well, I'm half Wook.
Crack him if you got him, son. Let's go.
Ron-
Wookie from the waist down.
Ron Swang Stew says, hey, can fanners. I hope.
kinda like can
I
fanners.
kind of like can fanners. Hey, can fanners. I hope you give Dak the big bucks because there ain't no way he wants less.
I
Leroy
agree.
Jenkins says they
I
make.
mean, he's getting $62 million this year if they don't do anything, guys.
That's crazy. but that's just because it's been shifted. It's
Truth.
been backloaded.
Truth.
But I still.
Yeah.
Still.
Leroy Jenkins says they make him right now a top 3 QB. In 2 years, he won't be in the top 10 QBs.
And it's how it is. It's how it is all the time.
Eastside Herald says, I hope Dink and Dak resets the QB market. That would be so funny.
Yeah, we hope so too, so that when CJ Stroud comes up for his payday, he's $75 million, idiot. How is that divisional loss, bitch?
I mean, yeah, fuck you, Eastside Herald.
Like, we were all cheering for Houston, and then they got their booty
Yeah,
spanked.
Too bad you nothing but a troll, dog.
Hey, Eastside Herald. Yeah, Houston may have made it further in the postseason this year, but they're still Dallas's little brother, bitch.
Yeah. Hey, anything better than what Dallas did? Eastside Herald. 1503 Jose Martinez says, even if we trade him, who's out there that can help us more than Dak right now? Question mark. Yeah,
No one.
Exactly. And if you were anyone who's going through a dream scenario phase where you would trade Dak and get one of the other top 7 elite QBs in the NFL, their contracts are exactly the same. In some cases, for the Cowboys, even worse because they're multiple 50-year.
We're just in this continual cycle. It's the Tony Romo cycle. I used to get into the argument with people. Trade Romo for who? Peyton Manning. What?
Yeah.
Trade Romo for who? Tom Brady.
Oh,
what?
and then after
Phillip Rivers. What? Like, what do you mean?
Well,
That doesn't
then-
even make sense.
Bryson had an argument because Bryson's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but yet he's a Dak fan, and he was getting into an argument about for Dak being he's still a good quarterback, and someone's like, "Would you take him?" Absolutely. You want to take Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
Take Kenny Pickett.
So it's just it's just continual cycle of until we have a bad quarterback, fans aren't going to know.
Ron
what it feels
Swang
like.
Stew says, "I hear Chicago has a QB, so interesting."
Fields.
Question: Would you take Fields?
Fuck
Justin
no.
Fields?
No.
Fuck no. Exactly.
Not a chance.
No, Chris,
thanks.
If Dak left, then we'd be talking about Justin Fields. Absolutely.
You know that Barstool Sports where they did like how the quarterback looks as a chick?
Yeah.
I would take Fields as a chick over Dak Prescott, but that's about it.
He's got some buns, huh?
Chris Sawyer says, "Hey, it's Airbnb Chris. I agree. There's no one out there that can help us." That's our boy Airbnb Chris called in the other day.
Oh yeah.
On a whim.
Oh yeah, that was
Airbnb
on
Chris.
Airbnb Chris. What's
Airbnb
up?
Chris.
Let's get into some more of this pending free agency.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
This is the hot topic.
Just my last chat comment here.
Sure.
Because it's a troll. I
Well,
like
let's not do any more East Side Herald.
It is an East Side Herald
Well,
comment.
why are we doing here?
Because I want to prove to him that I'm not ignoring his comments.
I know, but
I'm not afraid.
why
of
do
it.
you care to even bring them up?
East Side
anymore?
Herald says these guys take it in the can.
Okay.
Yeah, my prerogative. East Side Herald.
Can fan.
Cowboys
can fan.
have 19 pending free agents in 2024, as the cap is rumored to be around $242.5 million. Dear Lord.
And then it's a picture of Stephen Jones with a giant baseball cap on.
With a giant. Actually, I have another list here that's a little easier to see. Sorry, guys, but I just want to pull up our free agents and like from the actual Dallas Cowboys and see who we keep, who we cut.
We're doing free agents right now. All right, free agents, cut or keep.
So here are our unrestricted free agents.
Let's just, before we pick
Yep.
here, I'm going to count. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 14 free agents.
Ooh.
As a can fan exercise, we got to keep 8.
8.
Yeah, you got to keep 8. You're losing 6. I
Okay.
think that's pretty fair. You're keeping about 60%.
Let's go one by one, and we'll pick 8 together.
We each get to pick one
yeah,
until.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this. Ooh, I like can
So,
fan
Ad,
exercises.
do you want to start or pick of the litter?
I'm sorry. Somebody trying to talk to me while I'm working?
What am I
Ad
supposed to do?
hasn't listened to us. You just
I'll-
have to
okay,
look
I
at
know,
the
I
list
know,
of
I know.
names.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I'll
okay.
fucking.
Yeah, you
I'll,
start.
I'll
no,
start.
you missed out.
I get to pick who we keep
Yeah, you got to pick.
from this list. Tony Pollock. No, I'm just joking. You know what? Actually, Neville Gallimore. I want to resell. I would.
Really?
I like Neville
That's
Gallimore.
who you picked?
Okay, that's
Well,
our
how
one.
about-
That's
oh,
our
Oh,
one.
sorry. Time out.
You meant.
Time out. Jonathan Hankins is who I said.
Well, pick one.
Jonathan Hankins. That's who I'm going to go with.
Oh man, Neville Gallimore
I
out of
know.
every on the list. That's
Oh, I
get
didn't
it.
even see Stephon Gilmore.
I get
Fuck
that.
me.
I get that he's Canadian, but that was your pick.
This is why you should have let Ant go.
should've.
Then you could
Man.
have fucking
So okay,
read the
well,
list.
Ad stuck in with
You shut the fuck up!
Ad stuck with Neville Gallimore.
Okay.
You're not you don't get Hankins. Ad picked Neville Gallimore very confidently
Yeah,
without
'cause-
even reading. No, first he jokingly said Tony Pollard,
Yeah.
and then no, just kidding, Neville Gallimore.
I didn't have.
TV20 would have been a way
okay,
better.
okay. And I'm gonna give
But
you.
hey, it's all right, it's
I'm gonna
all right.
give you my guy.
'Kay.
But it gives you fucking muted me. You fucking muted me.
You gotta watch out.
I'm gonna.
Don't fucking come at me, bro.
Oh, see, that's that quad drink. I told you this was good. I told you
I'm
the
about to
qua-
have a repeat.
I
right
told
here.
you the quad drink was gonna hit. I'm going offensive tackle Tyron Smith.
Okay.
But I want it to be when they sign him, I want it to be a per game basis. I want it to be written into his contract that he gets paid per game.
$1 million per game?
$1 million per game. Did we fucking listen to this, read the same shit today?
I just was saying that would be.
That's
he's-
what it
'cause
was.
He's probably gonna play 10 games.
$1 million per game.
He's probably
and
gonna
that's
play
what
10
it is. Yeah,
games.
$1 million per game because that's what he's been basically on.
Yeah.
$1 million per game.
Or how about this?
AJ's in my head right now.
How about this? $500K per game, and if you play more than 10 games, so if you play 11 games, then you get a
I don't think he'll go for it.
No, but then you would get a bonus that would boost you up so that you get paid $1 million a game.
Yeah, well, will it boost him up though? That's
But
my
what
question.
the reason he's going to go for that is he's like, okay, I'll at least play 6 games at the start of the season, right?
True. Yeah.
What happens if he's, you know, there would have to be a base salary too, but I'm just going to stick with $1 million a game.
Okay, and you
If
know
he
what?
plays 17, if he plays 17 the way he played this year, he's worth 17 million.
Truth.
Crack him if you got him.
Yeah, and if he plays anywhere in between, hey, you get a little bit more.
That's
out of
my
your buck.
pick though.
Crack
So
him
we
if
got
you don't.
we got 2 down: Neville Gallimore and Tyron Smith.
I think I got to go O-line as well, and I cannot let Biadasz walk.
Oh yeah, he's got to stick
Ooh,
around.
yeah, that's
good,
Biadasz.
I
good pick.
cannot let Biadasz walk.
Leroy Jenkins in the chat says, I say Tyler Biadasz.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, man.
Yeah,
Got him. He's on the squad. We're at pick 4 now
Nope.
out of this list.
3.
No, I picked.
We all picked 1. There's 3 of us.
Yeah, but we get 8, right?
Oh, so Ad's picking the 4th right now.
Yes. I'm up for number 4.
pick, yeah.
I
Adam's
picked-
picking
I
the
picked-
4th
Ad's
now.
picking
yeah,
4th.
Sorry, yeah.
I'm going to
So does
I don't know.
does Ad get how many picks does Ad get? This is so
Ad
8
gets more than us.
No, you only get 2, and Ad and I will each get
You get 3.
3.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm a
We'll agree on the last one together.
Yeah, I have to write it down anyway.
Okay, Ad, who you going?
Gilmore.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm taking Stephon Gilmore. That would have been my first pick had I actually read the list.
I'm going Jordan Lewis.
Oh, you really?
J-Lo.
Yeah, J-Lu. Fuck yeah, J-Lu. On like a 2 or 3 year deal. Hell yeah, J-Lu came on strong at the last 5-6 games of the season, man. 100% he did.
I mean, he was already said once, but I think it's a need, and we, if we don't find a replacement, this guy is better than nothing. Jonathan Hankins.
Okay, so we're at 6 right now. Ad, you get your vaunted 3rd pick. I'm scared to give Ad a 3rd pick.
I thought you guys were going to discuss a little bit more, so let me just take a look at this. We got Gallimore, we got Smith, Biadasz, Badass, Gilly, J-Lu, Hankins.
Well, AJ took Hankins already.
I know.
No, he was just reading
I'm
the
just
list.
reading the
there,
list.
So
I'm just reading the list. I am going to go with
it's getting thin.
the person that pops on me. I'm not going to take TP. I'm not taking TP20.
You can't.
I'm going to take Doro.
Yeah, that's.
I like Doro.
Yeah, Dorrance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Fuck. No, you just made it tougher for me.
Yeah, sorry. I was looking because I
Because
didn't.
Dorrance Armstrong, granted, I would like to see Sam Williams get a little bit more playing time in some of Dorrance Armstrong's snaps, but if you can get him on a team-friendly deal, you have to.
You mean penalty Sam?
Yeah, well, that's the thing that scares me about Sam Williams. Like, I don't know if he's there yet. But, AJ, we have this tricky task now. Ad took Dorrance Armstrong, and that's who I was kind of eyeing.
Yeah.
And we laughed about 8 of 14. But right now, who are you re-signing? I might just say the long snapper.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say
Chat was saying long snapper.
Trent
earlier.
Sieg, or I've had a soft spot for this guy, Dante Fowler Jr. He's had a
Oh, I didn't even see
he's
him
played
up there.
very, very well for the Cowboys. I don't know if he's going to be worth it though. And like you said, we got to get Sam Williams playing now. Or it's kind of like
I think
how
we're
many
going
more
long,
years?
I think
So
we're going long
I
snapper.
think we got to go Trent Sieg long snapper. And I think his I saw a couple of his social media post videos. He did like one for the All Pro, I believe. And I don't know. Seemed like a funny guy. So it seems like he'd have fun in Can Fan. We're gonna try to get him on the show.
Does
So that
he-
means
does
we're losing Tony Pollard, Jaron Curse, or
Coast.
Jaron
J-Rock
Coast,
Coast, baby.
Noah
J-Rock Coast.
Iginebogany,
Yeah.
CJ Goodwin, Dante Fowler Jr., and Chuma Edoga. Those are the 6 we're losing.
Those are the unrestricted free agents. And you know what? I think our list is good. So we ended up with Gallimore, Smith, Biadasz, Gilly, J-Lu, Hankins, Armstrong, and Siege.
Okay.
Siege?
Question. You take Galley off of there. Not Gilly, but Galley. Neville Gallimore.
Okay.
And who would we replace him with?
You know what? He probably would have been my last pick.
I think he's still in the top 8. Like I said,
First was wild, but I still think, I mean, it doesn't really matter where he gets on the point of the
Exactly.
list, but
Yeah.
I feel like
You did not even know the list to count 8. And
No,
then say
because
that's the eighth best.
I like him every time we see Sounds of the Sidelines. He's my favorite person that's on the
Okay.
bench.
On that list, I'm going to say you read 4 names. You read Tony Pollard, then you read probably Jaron Curse, then you read someone else you didn't like.
Lewis, and then I went to get. Then I
You
went.
went right up to
Then I
the
went to
top.
Gallimore.
I could tell.
That's 100%. That you nailed it. Nailed it.
Nailed it. Snailed it.
Nailed it.
And
little,
then there's-
little argument in chat, right? Not a big argument, but
Okay.
Bocce says TP can walk, baby, and then Kilo sees
on the ground.
and Kilo C says TP20 is to become RB2. Yeah, I said it. And then Bocce says RB2 somewhere else. Rico is.
Yeah, I said it. Write it down, take a picture, send it to him. You heard me?
Bocce says RV2 somewhere else. Rico's my RV2. And then Kilo says Bocce cold.
And then, well, speaking of, Rico is the sole restricted free agent, so
He's coming back.
they'll bring him back, and they damn well should.
oh, they fucking should. He has speed and he has that aggressive
He runs
run.
with fight.
Yeah.
With fight.
I like it.
Not
I like
fiat, fight.
Did you guys want to? I mean, speaking of, so we went through the Cowboys free agents who they should sign. I made a real shitty off-season list,
Off-season, Jay. Let's go.
which
I have
so
it. I have it titled "The Free Agent Dream List" by Statboy.
hey, let me just go up to that. So I mean, look, it's not a pretty document, but it's a document that works for us.
What's up with the red lines?
I don't know that
Oh,
spelling.
it just happened. Okay.
Could you just zoom it in a little bit there, Joe?
I
AJ?
can, but
Is that going to screw you up?
I don't know. I don't know if you can zoom in on.
I could zoom in if
This
as
dog.
long as you keep it like you just did.
there we
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go, dog.
I don't know. That's just a spelling error, and I'd fucking get rid of this thing.
Ooh, there's a nice.
There we go. Okay, so dream list. Now
We're talking free agents here.
We're talking
like
free
NFL
agents.
free agents.
NFL free agents, not on the Dallas Cowboys, and this list here is not even considering salary cap. Just
Dream list.
Dream list.
Dream list.
It's
Who-
the Statboy Dream List.
Stat
Stat
boy
boy
dream
dream
list.
list.
Well,
Off-season, Jay.
right off the jump there, there's a name that pops out because Leroy Jenkins has said it a couple times in the chat.
Chris Jones.
No, Christian Wilkins. Sign Christian
Oh,
Wilkins
from Miami.
and trade Mozzie for a second and use your first and second pickup. So hang on. Sign Christian Wilkins and trade Mozzie for a second and use your first and second and pick up
Jesus
you get from Mozzie
Christ.
for linebackers.
Jesus
It-
Christ. I'm
it's
maybe reading it made sense, but you reading it and saying it sounded like
No,
a
no, no, no.
stroke.
I'm like
No, it's not.
Anchorman. I read what's in front of me. So if he says whatever he types, I say.
Trade
But-
a first, second,
but he's
Mozzie.
saying
That's all I heard.
Use the picks to get a linebacker. So
Okay.
trade.
Mozzie's not getting traded.
So, and here's like we can get into that rigmarole too, but the top position of need, in my opinion, comes down to D tackle or linebacker, whichever one's going to be there for you. Linebacker, I think, is a little bit more of a bigger need, and the top 3 players who would fit nicely in with the Cowboys are Devin White from Tampa Bay, Patrick Queen from Baltimore, and Frankie Louvu.
Well, did we pick the dream
Carolina.
list? Are we saying it was like who's your dream list pick for the defensive
Yeah,
tackle?
I guess go back up to DT. Start at the top. I shortchanged you there by just
Like who
switching
would
Well,
you-
I'm
Christian
saying
Wilkins.
linebacker. I started with linebacker. We'll go back to DT. I just
Okay.
went with linebacker because I think it's the most pressing.
Oh, so
pressing need.
you're going
I s-
Cowboys need. I get you.
Yeah, yeah. They're both. I would say, from what I'm seeing online and
Adds
hearing,
marble mouth of the chat. And I know you were just reading what was said, but I felt like my brain was shortchanging, like
I poke
shorty.
fun. I grew up with brothers. I'm rough.
you thought maybe you.
I thought I was.
passed out for a second.
Well, 1503 Jose Martinez says, please go over the whole list. I'm driving and watching you guys right now. And then EJ Savage says, man is dedicated. Driving and can fanning is dangerous business.
That is
So-
dangerous.
so-
yeah, definitely.
So I fucked it up. I apologize.
That's okay. Let's get to the list then. Now we'll start with defensive tackles.
AJ's
Reset.
dream list. Stat Boy's dream list.
Chris Jones from Kansas City.
29. Looking fine.
Justin Matabuike from Baltimore, Christian Wilkins, as you said, from Miami, and Leonard Williams from Seattle. Any of those toot your fancy? I mean, they all should.
Jones or Wilkins, but either.
I mean, even Williams. Yeah, any of those guys. Honestly, if we landed any of those guys, I'd be jacked. I'd be super stoked.
I mean, Jones comes with way too much.
Not happening.
Too high of a price.
But obviously you want him.
Right. So that's so maybe say the contracts that sorry, we're not even doing.
These are all very expensive players.
We're not getting.
We're not getting into we're not going to get a defensive tackle. I don't think. Well, here's the thing: we're not going to get any of these guys. But if we did, I like Justin Matabuke from Baltimore. I think he had for what the Cowboys need in terms of run stopping. I think he's probably the best of the bunch there.
Yeah, but you ain't getting that guy with that Super Bowl price tag on him. That tag's gonna go up.
No, well, I mean, all of these guys are $50 million plus per year, and
it's
Chris
crazy
Jones
that
is the
defensive
high.
tackles are just they've proved that they're so much worth for a defensive tackle that their contracts are the top 10 are getting paid like they should.
Yeah, no, it's obviously a pivotal. It's obviously a high need because that's why the price is up so much, right? Supply demand, baby. Linebacker, we said Devin White from Tampa Bay, Patrick Queen from Baltimore, and Frankie Louvu from Carolina.
So I was looking at some of these guys. Devin White was one of the worst PFF linebackers in the NFL.
Yeah,
like he looks like you're pissing blood. If we're going back to our P chart, all his games are red. All of his games are red. He had one green game, I think.
He's super highly touted.
No, it's because he's fast.
I feel. Did you argue with that Tampa Bay guy about this?
The Tampa Bay guy was saying Devin White was the fastest linebacker in the NFL, and I said no. You can say whatever you want. Micah Parsons is, and me and him just kind of this back and forth where I was kind of just joking, but he was dead serious.
The first and last time we've ever had an opposing team person on the podcast.
Devin White. I read a comment on him. Yeah, Devin White's great if he just has to run in one direction and not make any type of decision in his brain. He was terrible, 34 rated run and 30 something for pass. Awful. And this is going off of PFF, but I was also deep diving into the Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And Tampa Bay's thank God we're not going to have to pay him his second contract.
Hey, listen.
He didn't even play in their game against the Lions. He wasn't even on the field.
This is CanFan. We don't stat check stuff, so we're taking exactly what you said as truth and folklore. Fuck Devin White. We're not taking him.
I mean, I would still like to maybe see it as long as the deal made sense. Because he has the attributes. He is fast. Get him out there and let him just put him at safety.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it comes down to the type of linebacker. So we're not really looking at the outside. These were interior linebackers.
But Devin White, 6 feet, 230 pounds.
I know.
I want a big boy.
Well, the average size, yeah, you're right. The average size is about 6'2", 230, 235 of a NFL linebacker. That doesn't mean that that's what you should be looking for, but that's the average size. So if you are 6 foot, you're under the average.
And he's 6 foot.
Yeah.
He's 6 foot, 230.
Cornerbacks, we got Jalen Johnson from Chicago, 24 years old. L'Jarius Sneed from Kansas City, 26 years old. And Kendall Fuller from Washington, 28 years old. Now, keep in mind, on this list, I just kind of took the best options without looking at their stats.
Yeah.
We'll go into their stats later when we get to that realistic. We're going to get to that realistic section, which is not a dream section. For safeties as well, just in the secondary there, we have Antoine Winfield Jr. from Tampa Bay. And a lot of this also has to do with their age and just their probability or their ceiling, right? So wide receivers, we have T. Higgins, Cincinnati, Michael Pittman Jr. from Indianapolis, and Mike Evans from Tampa Bay.
If we could get Mike Evans, I take Mike Evans, even if he's a little bit older.
Yeah, he's got looking at a 24 million 4-year deal, $24 million a year.
His stats are still fucking solid though.
And then final is just looking at the top kind of edge rushers, only because edge is kind of your quarterback or can be considered like a quarterback type of player where they are very crucial. So if you can get another solid edge rusher in Josh Allen from Minnesota, Brian Burns from Carolina, or even Daniel Hunter from Minnesota.
I want Daniel Hunter just so we can call him the Mind Hunter.
Ooh.
Oh, you just got taken down by the Mind Hunter. That's strictly I'm going with that.
Are you getting a headache? Yeah. Must be because the Mind Hunter's on you.
Hey, you need some Tylenol because the Mind Hunter's on you.
You just got served.
You just got mind hunted.
Now, we do have a problem, though, guys.
Okay. Sure.
We are 20 million over the salary cap.
Close, yeah, right around that.
But, Anthony, you verified this. this list here.
I
This
did,
is
yes.
how we can get to 45.2 million under the salary cap, and give or take a milli here.
No,
and
this
there.
is. I went over this. This is pretty
pretty good.
pretty dang close to what they would have to do if they want to get that 45 million under the cap.
So for extensions, we got Dak Prescott. We would extend him 2 years, and save 26, or restructure and save 18. So I think more likely
That's happening. One of them's
one
happening.
of them's happening. Zach Martin, you could extend him 1 year and save $13 million.
He just
spread
got
that contract.
He just got his new contract last year. I'd be very surprised if this doesn't happen. I imagine they even went over that situation with him last year when they signed him. You could almost pencil that one in.
Yes, exactly.
Ooh, how much you want to bet on that one? I'm not going to do it, but how much would you bet on that one?
You're not going to actually
13
bet?
million.
Yeah, 13 mil. You're not going to bet me? Yeah, like, you're not going to bet me? 45.2 million.
How many CanFan bucks you want to go on that, bro? Because I'm in the deficit.
Yeah,
Technically, I still have 50 CanFan bucks because I conceded.
Yeah, you did.
That's true.
So
Cooks as well got 1 more year left, but if you extend him for 1 year, you can save $5 million. And keep in mind, he dropped 1 pass in 2023, so you might not love his stats, but for the balls that he was thrown that were catchable, he only missed 1.
You got to keep Brandon Cooks.
I just laugh at the balls.
Balls in your face.
Balls in your
balls.
mouth.
Restructure. You want to go ahead and restructure D-Law. You're going to save $4 million there. You want to trade and save with Trey Lance. Just fucking try to give him away to whoever's going to take him for a 6th or 7th round pick.
Clearance deal. You walk into Walmart and it's like that clearance DVD bin. No one wants to buy DVDs, but you can get them for like $2. That's
It's like
fucking Trey
they're
Lance.
like, eh.
Oh, you know what? This is a
such a
great
good
movie.
deal.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Hey, it's gonna shut up the wife. Just fucking
Just
grab
get it.
and
And then you get home and you realize you don't even have a DVD player.
You're like, what is it?
you already bought it last week. But
Does it work on the PlayStation?
If you trade Trey Lance pre 6-1, you save $5 million. Now the cuts. Now this is where things can get interesting, and you guys let me know if you agree. I'm just gonna go down the list, but we're basically saving anywhere between 800 to 2 million K. You cut LVE. You cut Nashawn Wright. You cut Red Wine cornerback. You cut Let's Go O-line. I hate to say it, guys. You cut Deuce Vaughn running back. You cut DJ Bass O-line. You cut Jalen Brooks cornerback. You cut David Durden wide receiver.
Well, I'm going to ask you, out of those guys, you keep 3.
Keep 3?
Yeah, you got to keep 3.
I keep LVE. I keep Red Wine. I keep Nashawn Wright.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going Brooks, Bass, and probably Vaughn.
I'm going Red Wine.
I don't even know who Red Wine is.
Exactly. I'm going Red Wine, Durden, and Wright.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Durden. He got hurt.
He did get hurt.
He got hurt in training camp.
Durden. One thing on the list.
We
here,
need money. We got to get rid of him.
But you're not realistically those. You could keep the bottom
You
5,
could,
and
yeah.
it doesn't really
so
affect.
But it does add up.
It does add up
When
but
you're
it's
looking at
2-3
and
mil.
we'll get to why it adds up in a second.
EJ Savage in all caps says, "Do not get rid of Bass."
No, I agree. I don't think you get rid of Bass.
I might have said Bass, and I might have meant. I was confused because I did have the other guy. Shoot.
And Jalen Brooks was probably our best rookie.
EJ, who's the other lineman?
Hoffman.
Not Hoffman.
But you could get rid
Anyways,
of
well, let's go.
No, it's not
Adoga.
Brad. It's another B. Anyway, Boss. I don't know.
Josh Ball.
Josh Ball.
Oh yeah, fucking
Ball.
get rid of fucking
Because
Ball.
I thought Josh Ball was gone.
Same
so
savings.
fuck him.
Roughly the same.
Yeah, so
it's
Josh
within
Ball's
that-
gone.
Yeah, so Josh Ball.
Jalen Brooks. I'm just gonna argue for Jalen Brooks.
Yep.
Probably our best probably our best rookie this year. He's the only rookie that actually really played and did anything.
For sure. Yeah.
So
we need that 870K.
Yeah, but you also need wide receivers. You also need wide receivers that you grow. You don't know what Jalen Brooks could do in year 2.
Leroy Jenkins said this, and he wanted to just ask. He goes, "They are already saying Martin and Diggs restructuring their contracts.
Oh, definitely, they have
How
to.
much do we save if we do Diggs stat boy ? Question mark.
I mean, that's something we can answer on another day. Actually, you know what?
I just love that Stat Boy's actually taking off.
I can look that
When
up. I can
people-
look that
when
up.
people actually just ask in chat, hey, question, look it up, Stat Boy.
Well,
Who was it? CD?
No, Diggs.
Diggs.
Trevon Diggs.
If we restructured?
Well, there's going to be some shuffling because he had the big contract put last year. I haven't heard much about Diggs though. I haven't heard anyone really talk about Diggs much about restructuring. Are you able to restructure in the second year of the deal? Question mark.
You can, but I don't think it's going to allot too much. Let's have a look, Ski.
Let's have a Willitsky.
He's going to be right near the top.
If you restructure, you can save 7.9 million.
So just round it up for 8 mil.
Kick that down the road.
So you know what? You keep all of the 3 rookies that we keep at least TJ Bass, Jalen Brooks. I mean, you could honestly keep all those guys and restructure and still have $6 million left.
I don't think it's likely Diggs is going to restructure on a second year. I think it's more likely on the third year. I don't think players.
But you can restructure still, and then
I know, but the player just might say, "No, I'm keeping this contract," and it's the third year that they'll usually do that.
The odd thing is that we don't know what
But I'm not
else
going
goes.
to say no. Fuck, if he wants to do it, let's do
We
it.
also don't know what other additions are in the contract. So like he was injured this year. We have no idea what's going through his mind right now in terms of like what his deal. So you're right. He might not.
So who
want
are
to
your 3 guys? Just so I can kind of take shots at them.
Gallimore. Who were my 3 guys? I said right.
You said
red wine, right, and Durden.
So I just gonna ask you.
Durden and Brooks, I think could.
No, but this is the question. So you went Durden over Brooks. Brooks we traded up to Brooks we took in the draft, and Durden was a free agent that was injured.
No, I said to get rid of them.
Oh,
Like,
you want to
get rid of Durden?
No, I said keep 3.
Oh, who am I keeping on this cut list?
Yeah,
here?
keep 3.
From just this one that we're looking from what we're looking at right now. Yeah, I'm keeping Willetsco, Brooks, and I'm also keeping. I mean, I gotta go.
Let's go. Why the fuck are you keeping Willetsco?
I gotta go.
Even play.
I gotta go LVE.
Wait, Jay. I mean,
Look,
offseason Jay.
look, I'm looking at AJ. Is this a different list?
I don't know what's going on right now. How far back are you right now?
I'm right on this list that we're looking at.
In our conversation.
Ant said, "What 3 guys are you keeping?"
Yeah, what ones are you keeping?
This is the cut list. These are people who are on the cut list.
And Ant is asking me
we
from.
should cut.
And Ant is asking me from this cut list, who am I keeping?
And you said them.
Okay,
And I just said them.
Okay.
And
what
then
was
you
the
asked.
question?
And then you asked me how far back am I? And I said, and I was explaining it to you.
AJ, who you keeping?
Okay. I said LVE, red wine, and you make a good argument for Jalen Brooks. But I think Nashawn Wright, man, I spelled his name wrong.
Yeah, I mean, right.
We're in Canada, we spell things different. But anyways,
Michael Gallup. We don't even have to talk about this piece.
you got to do a post 6-1
Oh,
cut,
yeah. It
though.
has to be post June 1st. Post June 1st, he's gone. See ya.
You designate him like that, like Zeke was last year. And now I did a little read up on the 6-1, why it matters. So 6-1 is if the players are still on the roster on 6-2, then they
get their full salary.
Get their full salary. So, however, most players don't like that. And so it's kind of a mean thing to do because it holds them out from
OTAs. It holds them off any unorganized.
And from contention from going to another team pre that date too, right?
That's what it means. So if they wait till June 1st, they miss all the stuff that's before that.
So by designating them, teams can still talk.
Pursue.
They can't say, "Oh, we're going to sign them," and then get the benefits of that. But they can basically set up saying, "Once you're cut, we're going to sign you." But it still takes place after that date. So that's why that date is significant. Now, Cowboys do need to reserve $8.7 million for the rookies. So at the end of the day, give or take, we have $36.5 million to play with in our free agency here, as well as the resigning those players we chatted about.
And we'll go that they don't cut everyone that we want, that we just looked at. So let's just round it down to 30.
Okay, but in this exercise, I have it based off of this $36.5 million. But sure, take $30 million in because that's probably a much more realistic number. Just because below here,
well, because they're not cutting every single guy that
I know they're not. But this is like I can't change the document now because it's all based off of that number, $36.5 million. This is the list.
No, I get that, but we'll just pretend it's 30. I get it as 36. I'm going to pretend it's 30.
But this list is going off of.
Oh, so 30. The stuff below.
Yeah.
Oh, like, gotcha. I didn't know. I've never seen this part.
No problem.
Let's roll into it.
Here's the thing. So now we're going to go through the potential free agents that you could sign, but we do take into account their cap. So, for example, if you went ahead and tried to sign Patrick Queen and got him at what they're saying he is going to be, what his contract should be of $19 million a year
You
on
fuck
average,
everything else.
it doesn't play. So you can't. I'd love to have Patrick Queen, just not necessarily because of anything else, but just how I've seen him on film. And I know that perhaps his PFF numbers don't add up to it. This is a guy who I think you just like, doesn't really matter. He's got what we need. So the top three here for me, and I want to hear you guys' opinions here: Patrick Queen, Bobby Wagner, and Tyler Dodson of Buffalo. And you can see right beside them their expected contracts per year. Patrick Queen, $19 million, Bobby Wagner, $6 million, and Tyler Dodson from Buffalo at $5 million. My choice,
Yeah, you go with
if I
your
jump
choice.
in, is you go after Bobby Wagner hard. If he's not available, because he's got that great run stop, I still think he's got some fucking time and he's still got some tread on the wheels.
If all you're bringing him in is to be a middle linebackers don't they
And
can
a Band-Aid.
Yeah, you can still do it for a year.
And then Tyler Dodson, I really liked what he had. So he is 6 foot, 230. He's on that smaller size, but he's 26 years old, and he had 70 tackles in about roughly half of the amount of snaps that the other. So let's say he had 500 on average. They get about 1,000 snaps per season. He had about 500, give or take, right? So
that's pretty good.
Still pretty good. He had 3 sacks and 6 quarterback hits.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't know if there was a reason he only played.
The biggest thing is look at his PFF: 82.6, 86.8, and 89.5.
And for the price and on my money, I mean, that's a guy who I'm like, look, if you can go out there and make a move to get him, even if the numbers taper once he goes from 500 to 1,000 snaps, I still think that he's a really strong option. But if you got to go hard at Bobby Wagner, try to pick him up. If that doesn't work, then it's Tyler Dodson, in my opinion, for linebackers. Kind of covers and all honorable mentions. We got Levante David, Josie Jewell, who also had a pretty good season. I just think he's a little bit too expensive. And then Shaq Leonard is cheap and could fill in if everyone else is gone.
A stopgap.
And we just need someone to come in.
He'd be good any of those guys would be good as long as, and you still draft a linebacker in the top 4 rounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. None of this, not for linebackers, a lot of them are stopgaps. The only one who may not be is Tyler Dodson, but you'd have to play him for the year to see, so you still got to go into the draft with being like, we need to find our guy. And if you end up with Dodson on a multi-year contract for $5 million and a stud that you got, I mean, shit, we just really solved our, if Dodson is who I think he is, we solved that linebacker issue. Next up, we got the defensive interiors. This one's pretty straightforward. I think
they're all so expensive. Hey,
they're so expensive, and that's the tough thing is we're pretty much priced out of any of the elite guys. But some nice, more Band-Aid players. Fletcher Cox is a great Band-Aid if you want to bring him in. He's got a $10 million cap on him.
Almost a third of what we're gonna have to play with, though.
I know, but this is
it's an important position.
This is with DIs. This is what you.
So
this is the price.
I wish Mozzie would have just.
I know. I did have Christian Wilkins from Miami, but his price is just too much, man.
He's too much.
And there's no way we're not going to get him for cheaper than that. The other dude is Grover Stewart. He's not great, but he is the third best run stopping guy within the price range of the Cowboys.
Still 10 mil.
Still 10 mil. But if you go any lower than that, you're ending up with guys who are like, you might as well go for Hankins again.
Well, that's what I mean. Wouldn't you rather, though?
I would, absolutely.
Like, so just for the sake of this
Hankins would be the guy.
$5 million for Hankins?
Hankins would be the guy over these guys. But if we're looking to build an improvement and through free agencies, these are the guys I'd look at. But I think
that's crazy, though. 10 mil, hey?
Yeah. And Christian Wilkins, we're priced out of.
You can't even. It's not happening.
Next up, we got the running backs. Now, here's where things get interesting, dudes.
And I was looking at, so when you this $5 million, is this based on like what you're hoping? Like, do you only think Derrick Henry's going to get paid $5 million for next year?
This is what the research has shown, not my research, but like on what people say that he is going to be asking for and what he's worth. So
So
I think he would take a 1-year, $5 million contract. Yeah. Maybe it's laden with incentives.
Crazy because you saw a lot of like 1 million, 1 year, $10 million or $11 million deals. And I think this upcoming year, it's going to be a lot less. Take that kind of gunslinger or
look,
gun for hire type of, I guess they're not guns because they're running backs, but legs for hire.
Legs for hire. No, and who knows what the actual market is going to dictate, but these are numbers all consistent with average values from year to year and what the expectations are. Do I think Derrick Henry is worth more than $5 million? Absolutely. But Derrick Henry is actually not the guy I want the Cowboys to go after.
Ooh.
I want the Cowboys to go after A.J. Dillon.
A.J. from Green Bay Dillon?
I think he's almost
Big boy.
Big boy, 247. But he's a heavy guy, 240 plus, and he's got good rushing and reception. He would be a great guy to come in and then have a Dowdle behind. And if you can get him for $4 million a year and put him in that starting
definitely.
position,
And that I agree that he's $4 million. Yeah. The Derrick Henry thing, I mean, AJ, you go AJ Dillon, Derrick Henry, $1 million difference realistically. And that might be I
think it's
what it's saying, but Josh Jacobs, $10 million. Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, like even Saquon. I think someone's going to pay those guys each. Derrick Henry and Saquon are going to get paid $10 million. AJ Dillon, $4 million. Get him. That's perfect. That's what Zeke kind of got last year. That's right in the ballpark of Zeke, $4 million.
Yeah, and I think you got to pick one or the other. And sure, let's say Derrick Henry's not at $10 million. He's priced himself out of our running back.
We don't want to spend $10 million on a running back.
You go after AJ Dillon hard. The other guy who would be interesting is Gus Edwards. He also has that size.
Bus.
I don't know that he has the hands, but that's something that you could figure out with a backup. There's lots of opportunities for guys with hands.
Are these all of these guys on your list? They're
free agents.
It's a buyer's market this year for running backs, man.
This is where I do think their amount's going to go down. But like Josh Jacobs,
look at TP20.
Josh Jacobs for $10 million, like that take him.
Yeah, but Cowboys can't afford $10 million.
No, I know, but I'm saying
RB.
Any
team,
he's going to go for $10 million.
Now this could be like
to the right team.
$10 million this year, and by the end of it, he's making $20 million. But TP20, he was looking for what? 11, 12, 13 million last season. That's what he was going for. It's down to $7 million this year.
Oh yeah.
So the other guy who's very interesting is DeAndre Swift. He's just he's smaller than TP, and I don't know that he's gonna perform any better as a solo running back. AJ Dillon has everything that you want
for a pair.
Yeah.
So out of this list, I'm seeing 3 guys that are starters that you're taking on your team as a starter. Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and Josh Jacobs. Those guys are all starters.
Number one's clear cut.
Josh Jacobs
Tony
Ted
Pollard was a starter though.
Well, clear cut.
Josh Jacobs is $10 million. Who else did I say? Saquon 7, Tony Pollard 7. Derrick Henry's going to be at least Tony Pollard $7 million. So
for sure.
Is that pricing you out of Derrick? Or is $5 million? Like if you're going to take AJ Dillon for 4, you're taking Derrick Henry for 5.
I'll take Henry. I'll take Henry for up to. I mean, you're really pushing it, and it also depends on
what's the most you're going to pay for a running back in the free agent market.
$7 million is where
I was going to say 7 or 8.
I think 7's good, and I think you can still get a good running. And to me, we've preached size. I'd rather go size with one of these dudes, and then draft a guy like Blake Corum who's smaller.
Yeah.
Then take a smaller guy and draft a bigger guy. I'd rather take one of the bigger dudes that like AJ Dillon doesn't have a lot of carries on him. Gus Edwards, same thing. Got a great goal line back, Gus Edwards for the Ravens. Get one of those guys in if you can, and then draft a running. I still think that's the running back is like the linebacker thing. It's a stopgap. You're doing maybe a 1, maybe a 2-year deal, and you're drafting to replace that guy in the next year or 2.
I do think we're going to see a running back or a linebacker go 1 and 2 or 2. Either linebacker is going to go 1 or a running back's going to go 1.
There's no one talent running back in the draft.
So linebacker, so running back's going to go 2, and then linebacker possibly 1 if they're. I don't actually know who in the draft right now would be in that first round.
That's
radius.
the thing. Like linebacker, running backs aren't for our needs. Yes, if we were drafting purely
That's
Cowboys
what I'm
needs,
saying. Yes,
but there's
sorry.
not those players.
Right.
Well, you got to remember too the list that we see today
It's going to
and
be
the
more-
list
gonna
that
be
we see
completely-
in a month is
Yeah,
going
it's
to be
completely different.
Granted,
different, so.
we did some pretty early drafts, and again, like
It does say
it does fluctuate.
Well, yeah, you did a very early draft that was relevant. I think one of the first mock drafts you did was one of your best kind of drafted ones that you had, and it was
like
before,
most realistic.
Yeah, well, not more. I mean, but like,
Not for Cowboys, but for where the
yeah,
players
for like
went,
the
yeah.
players. Like, I mean, so
It's tough to. I mean, the draft is
sometimes the combine fucks. Sometimes the combine fucks that player.
there's too
out.
much information than
Yeah,
other
way
than
too
just
much, yeah.
than the tape. CJ Stroud, his fucking stupid Wonderlic test.
Yeah,
Without that, he probably goes first.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Overall.
hey, it
So-
worked
Well, they
out
read-
perfect for him.
They
so.
read in too much about that, and I think there's important parts of all the combine, but at the same time, who was it? Fucking Jerry Rice ran like a 4.6,
Exactly. Imagine he
On
was
field?
drafted purely on his speed.
and on the field,
No one
he
could
was
catch
not
him.
running a 4.6.
Nobody could catch him. But again,
I had
back
a-
to the running back stuff. Any of those guys, like I want a big back, but Josh Jacobs, if it worked out,
Actually,
we wouldn't hate that
sorry,
either.
with the Jerry Rice, like, do you think? I mean, this is not. I mean, maybe it happens, but do you think a player sandbags their combine a little bit just so that they can get drafted to a lower team?
Never.
I know, totally. But imagine Jerry Rice, San Francisco, we're going to draft you, but we need you to sandbag a little bit so that we can get you in a later round. I don't know what round.
But why as a player you
No,
would
you would
don't
never.
care where you go.
I know.
The higher the pick, the more money you make.
Of course, I'm just saying. Like, I'm wondering if that conversation's ever happened.
So out of this column here, because these guys are the big boys, which I would be happy with any one of them, of course. I mean, shit, if we had a chance for Saquon Barkley at $7 million, fucking
I'd
take
take
him. I think it is going to be probably at a $10 million, but
Derek Henry, Saquon Barkley, and Josh Jacobs are probably all going to get overpaid because there's a lot of teams with a lot of cap space,
and they'll do it.
They'll do it. So we're gonna have to look at the guys you have highlighted, and maybe Gus Edwards are kind of.
I mean,
more,
Zach Moss, Austin Eckler, or Devin Singletary. I like Devin Singletary. EJ Savage in the chat said Singletary. I don't think he would be bad. I don't think he solves a lot of the things that we would want as a Cowboys running back. But I think as a 1-2 scheme, he would fit depending on who they draft.
And he's thick, 5'7", 200.
Yeah.
Like that's equivalent
Then
to
you
6 foot 240.
Then you draft
It's
a big
not.
body. Then you draft a big body, a big boy.
All right, what do we got next? Running backs is an interesting one. It's going to be good going into the season, into the draft, what the Cowboys do. Wide receivers, another fun one.
So just for reference, Puka Nacua had an 11% drop rate, okay? And he had an amazing
I like that
season.
legend that
So
you put there. That helps.
I think, well, just because if we go through this, my top 4 here, and hopefully you guys agree. We
Our
got
guys that don't drop the ball.
Fuck Gabe Davis. He's off my list. He
All-
fucked me. He gave me 3 weeks of 0 points in fantasy. Remove him.
okay.
Remove him.
The top 3 have low drop rates and high yards average reception. And those are things that I think the Cowboys really want to look at. They need to get a player in there who can go out there and get a deep ball, help open the field. Because we know CeeDee Lamb can pretty much do everything. But we need a guy who's going to be able to go out there, stretch the field, and even be available for 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 8s, longer distance yardage. So these 3 guys, and their names that everyone knows: Gabe Davis from Buffalo, who's looking at a $14 million a year contract; Tyler Boyd from Cincinnati, who's looking at a $9 million a year contract; and Josh Reynolds from Detroit, who's looking at a $7 million a year contract. The probable pick, though, because if we're going to keep Cooks, give him a second year. Let's see if he can cook. The probable pick here is Nick Westbrook from Tennessee. He's scheduled to have a $3 million contract. He also gets 13.2 yards per average, 6'2", 211, but he had a 12.5% drop rate. So he's got some butter on his hands. But for the price, the size, and the length of receptions that he goes out and gets, that's what I think can replace the Michael Gallup that we missed.
Oh, yeah. I'll put it this way. Any 4 of those guys that you have there, the 3 and then Nick Westbrook, you're essentially replacing them with Michael Gallup.
Yes.
CeeDee Lamb's still there. Brandon Cooks is still there. And then you're replacing that WR3 or WR2, however you want to look. and then you still draft a wide receiver if one falls to you in the first to third rounds.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
as much as I like to scream about Gabe Davis, I do think $14 million for what we would draft him for. I mean, the reason he has 0 points is because not drafted, about what we would sign him for.
Those quad drakes are hitting different.
Oh, you've been quadded?
Well, no, I just didn't know I was going to
Hey, you
fucking
have
get
quadding?
grammar checked every fucking sentence here. Gabe Davis at $14 million. He's shit for fantasy, but as a player blocking, and EJ Savage brought it up as I was saying it. He's one of the best blocking wide receivers in the league.
I ain't paying $14 million for a
Not
Blocka.
paying $14 million for that motherfucker.
I'd rather take a guy cheaper and then draft a stud in the first or second round.
Would you take
Absolutely.
Would you take Mike Evans on a 1 year $14 million deal?
No.
He's not going to get.
I don't want
$14
to. I don't want to pay any wide receiver $14 million.
No, we don't need to. CeeDee Lamb is
our one.
Is the one. We've got Cooks as well, and I know
Cooks might have had a better year if you just had someone that wasn't Michael Gallup as your other wide receiver.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions here. A familiar name, but their drop rates are too high. We got Noah Brown,
which
from
we know his drop rates high.
We know his drop rates are high.
Yeah,
There's also DJ Chark from Carolina, Darnell Mooney from Chicago, and KJ Osborne, from Minnesota. They're all a little too high for the price point. I really don't see. Wide receivers a need. You got to go to draft.
They're going to draft
find
him.
that guy.
They're going to draft him.
And when I say wide receivers a need, I just mean like
it is a wide receiver.
You
is a
need
need
3 wide receivers now.
Wide receivers definitely a need. We got lucky. Okay, put it this way: if CeeDee Lamb gets hurt, are you happy with what we had this year? Fuck no.
Unless Tolbert fucking puts a crown on his head and says, "I'm the real 88."
So you got to always put that as like if our starter our best guy at that position gets hurt, how would we be? And if CeeDee Lamb goes down, not looking too great.
That was the thing about Tolbert though. Like he had those moments in games. He had moments where he had great catches or he was in the right spot. It's just why haven't we seen more action from him? Is it because Gallup's our number 3? I think Gallup was he was nowhere to be found this season.
He had a great last game of the season and one good game in the middle of the season.
It always goes back to these guys watch these dudes. We say it for the quarterbacks, but the coaches watch that wide receiver go against that wide receiver for multiple times a week, and Tolbert wasn't better than Michael Gallup.
Yeah,
but Michael Gallup's contract has essentially ran him out of Dallas. He's not going to be on the. I'm not going to say not going to be on the Cowboys because I said Mike McCarthy wasn't going to be on the Cowboys, and look what happened. Michael Gallup won't be on the Cowboys, costing $13 million or $9 million or whatever the hell he is against the cap.
It's going to restructure or do something.
Do something.
And they literally can't have him on the team if the production is just not there.
No, the production for the price. The price outweighed the production.
Cornerbacks, and this is interesting because I wasn't actually thinking about cornerbacks as a need until our last week's episode where Anth started like
going off.
Yeah, like ridiculing me.
Anth going off? No.
And I took it to heart, and I agree. But we have our 2 rich but would be nice options in Jalen Johnson and L'Jarius Sneed, $16 million a piece per year, probably more. Let's be honest. I don't see the Cowboys just don't have the cap to spend on those guys, but they would be nice. They got a really good numbers in terms of complete percentages. Both of them are right around 50% complete percentages. Quarterbacks, very low QBRs. Jalen Johnson has an outstanding 33.3 QBR.
It's great, actually.
A little bit of high on that missed tackle, though, 17.5%, and then L'Jarius Sneed 13.3% missed tackle. So cornerbacks, though, I think you let the missed tackle slide a little bit more.
They shouldn't be the guys making the tackles usually.
No, and
realistically,
you care more about, I think, receptions and QBR.
Yep.
Now, probable pickups. These are my top 3 guys. Steven Nelson from Houston, Akello Witherspoon from
that's a sweet
put
name.
It down. And I think he's from LAC, but EJ might let me know. Akello Witherspoon, and then Kenny Moore from Indianapolis at $9 million. Now, do you want to spend that much on a cornerback coming in with Bland?
No. You re-sign Gilmore and you draft another corner.
That's what I was just putting right here. Now, Gilmore's contract, though, is higher than these guys. So do you think it comes down? Because this is what they're projecting that
that's his current.
And
He'll drop.
that's
He'll be
what
less.
okay.
He'll be less.
If Gilmore comes down $2 million,
Yeah, I
then-
was gonna say 8.
okay, then you bring back Gilmore.
You bring back Gilmore and you sign or you draft a corner within your. I think corner to me is a high priority pick. My high priority picks with just looking quickly at the draft right now.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, cornerback, linebacker, and any type of offensive lineman. Those are my 4.
Yeah.
Because it's just after I there's some good D tackles in the draft, but I still have a sour taste over the Mozzie thing.
Well-
I'd rather go try to find it in free agency and then maybe draft a guy in the 5th. But those are my four positions that I want to upgrade. Linebacker, cornerback, wide receiver, and running back. Those are my 4.
Well, what if you go out there and you get a linebacker or a defensive tackle in the draft, because draft comes before free agency, right?
Free agency starts I think March 1st. So there's waves, right?
Oh,
you get that
right,
initial
right,
you get that
right,
initial
right,
free
right, right.
agency
Okay,
wave.
okay.
Then you get
Sure.
You get the pre-draft free agency wave, then you get the draft, and then teams still have holes that they want to fill, and then you get another kind of rush on free agents.
So
What a rush.
So free agency is definitely first.
okay, if Cowboys go ahead and fill linebacker either through free agency or draft, then I don't know that they need to be as worried about the defensive tackle for sure.
If you can get a run stopper.
If you get a run stopper, because then at least you've got something plugging the middle of the field.
And that's how you can always tell what the team's planning on drafting a little bit because of what they do in that first little bit of free agency.
So finally here, just honorable mentions for CBs. And I didn't do safeties because I feel we get a linebacker, Bell goes back, safeties are covered.
Safety's covered.
But Sean Bunting, $7 million, and Kendall Fuller, $14 million. He's probably priced out. But anyways, if we take all those guys who I selected, and we won't go through them, it leaves us with $3.5 million left to fill the house.
Give that a quick donation to CanFan and everyone's happy.
There we
Off
go.
Jay's dream team.
So,
just give it to CanFan, 3.5 milli.
but look, I'm going to, we can come back and do another as
Well, it'd be fun to
things
keep
start
this.
happening.
It'll be fun to keep this.
we're going to, yeah, this is going to be kept. We keep this. Then once the first round of
Free
free
agency.
agents goes through, we can come back and have another look, but we'll probably be also including who do we go after at the draft, because if some of these questions are answered through that first round,
Oh, you
Of
can start
course.
knocking boxes off.
start checking off boxes.
A lot
So-
of these guys too are going to be highly touted. There's a lot of good players.
exactly, and like the prices that they give us, or the expected contracts that they give us is like, okay, who knows what's going to happen if someone starts making a play for a player, you move the whole market up, right?
Got it.
So, like, if there's a battle for what should be a $15 million player pushes up to 20, well, now everyone moves up X amount, or like 25%, right? So it's a tough game, but someone's got to play it.
It's a tough game, but someone's got to play it.
So that's
I always think of that of Sonic. Like Sonic's a tough game, but you still got to play it.
Sonic, you kind of now. I never beat Sonic.
No one beats Sonic.
No one ever beat Sonic.
We were like 8 when we played it.
You just play it for a bit, be like, "Oh, this game's really
This
good."
is stupid. This game is stupidly hard.
Yeah.
Suck up. We did have some other stuff to talk about, but I think we ran out of time.
We can
We're
roll
going next week.
Yeah, we can roll it, man. This is the beauty of the off season. We don't have a time frame, but we do have a time frame.
Yeah.
And we also need stuff to talk about next week. So we will roll that into next week. I think this was fun. I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
Are we doing any calls or
I mean,
do you want to? Did you have?
I've had calls up for a while now. No one's in.
no
It's
one?
all
No
good.
one's in. Everyone's having a.
We didn't really push it. We kind of got deep in his stats.
I don't.
didn't
Well,
want to interrupt.
and I don't think we ever really even said it.
Yeah.
Next week, next Wednesday, we will take calls. But before we get out of here, we will say we are live streaming the NFC Championship game, possibly the AFC
Possibly
Championship
the
game.
AFC Championship
Fuck
game.
it, I'll roll for the AFC Championship game. I'll just be here all day. I don't give a care. But bandwagon
pizza day.
pizza day. I thought we were doing
No,
something
we're doing
different.
something
Pizza.
different.
Okay, sure.
Whatever. Pizza day.
Burgers and Boys. Or
Burgers and Boys.
Kim's Fried Salad or
Ooh,
whatever.
We'll do-
Kim's Fried.
We'll do something. Bandwagon boys, we will be back here. Well, we don't even know the time, but we will be here
Sunday,
on Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday
You're
live
watching
streaming.
football. We're watching football. We're either going to be live for all games or one game for sure, the
Hey.
NFC game.
Subscribe and you'll get that notification.
Subscribe and don't forget to hit up our Patreon.
Hit up the Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe there's 18,000 people on there and you're not there yet.
Oh,
But for the bandwagon boys and your host, Ampes here.
well, we do have a call. Do we want to quickly take the
Yeah,
call?
fuck it.
Ah,
Okay,
fuck
okay,
it.
here we
Let's
go.
take
Okay,
it.
here we go.
Let's
Here we
take
go.
it.
Here we
We'll
go.
take this call.
Let's take the call.
We'll take the call.
Let's take the
Hey.
call. Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Crack 'em if we got
If
'em.
we got Crack'ems, we're taking. I guess I should get one too. Let's go.
Caller, are you there? You got us on the outro.
Hey guys,
How's it going?
good. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we
We
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you. Perfect.
Absolutely. What are you wearing? ASL?
Okay. What am I wearing?
You don't.
I'm sleeping.
You're sleeping. Oh, nice.
Okay.
Well, hey, welcome to waking up.
No. Yeah, I'm in France right now, so
Oh, France. He's
I'm
in
just-
France. This is
yeah, France, yeah.
Albin in the chat. This is Albin in the chat. Earlier on, he was waiting for the call to pop up.
Well,
Oh,
here you
fucking
go,
A.
Albin in France. How's it going, my friend?
it's going good. It's going good. Just discovered you guys a few weeks ago, and not a Dallas fan, not a Dallas hater, just an observer.
Okay.
And
I like that.
I
Not a
enjoy your
Dallas fan,
podcast. I
not a
think-
Dallas hater, just
Right.
an observator.
Yeah, it's a good
See?
rhyme.
see,
Yeah, it's a good round.
yeah. So yeah, so I discovered you guys, and you guys, as I said, on your previously, you guys are raw, right? You guys it's real. So it's rare nowadays. So you guys need to have more subscribers. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh,
15 is not enough.
Hey, man, you're preaching. You're preaching to the choir here. 15 is not enough. I'm trying to
Yeah.
quit my damn job so I could do this. I agree. 15 is not enough. But man, I think this is the first person. You might be our first France subscriber, which we appreciate that, man. That's wicked.
Yeah,
So what team?
thanks.
So I got a
And
question for you. What
so,
team? What team do you follow?
The Seahawks.
Okay, so we live we live about 3 hours out of Seattle.
Lots of Seahawks fans.
A lot of Seahawks fans where we're from, but we went across against the grain a little bit and became Cowboys fans. But yeah, you called in. What do you want to chat about here?
Yeah, I'm jealous, man. I want to be there. Anyway, yeah, I was 20 years in San Francisco. So see, I mean, I'm the enemy, right? So,
yeah, you are.
yeah, I wanted to talk to you about what you just talked about. Your QB situation is very interesting to me. I don't know, man. I'm just 50-50. I know it's a shitty answer, but I'm leaning on having him just do his last year, and then you guys can get the Sanders kid out of Colorado, right? Dion's kid.
Yeah,
How cool
Shador.
would that be for you guys
possibly should
So-
in 2025? But
Yeah, 2025. Yeah,
but
because
then-
he's sticking around, right? Like Shadur's still sticking around in Colorado. I think in 2024.
one more year, yeah.
Right.
Well,
His dad said you ain't going anywhere, so his dad is, Dion. So
Albin from France,
Um,
as a non-Cowboys fan, so are you on the Dak train or are you off the Dak train? You said keep him for one more year.
Well, he said he was 50-50.
He's 50-50. So what would make
Well-
you want us to keep Dak Prescott for more than just 1 year?
I don't want people yell at me, though.
Hey man, don't
Safe
you worry.
space.
You're in a safe space, and while you're in the safe space, let's get one of these. Crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
Crack him if you got him.
You're in a safe space.
Yeah, I'm
Tell
doing
us how you
cracking
feel.
what you got him, but it's some coffee right now.
What time is
I'm
it in
cracking
France?
some coffee. 4:56.
Holy.
Ooh.
Do you work at
I woke up at 2.
Okay? Do you work a graveyard shift?
Say
Or
that again?
well, how come you woke up at 2?
No, I'm teaching English actually. Believe it or not, I still have my big accent, but anyway.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
I'm teaching
I
some
apologize.
English class.
And I apologize for missing class this morning. Sorry.
So back to Dak
Don't worry
Prescott.
about it,
So
man.
back to Dak Prescott. You think that you're in a safe space. Say whatever you want. You can call him a piece
Yeah.
of shit. You can say you like him.
His
But
mom's
it's-
not coming in
But
here.
see, that's why-
Well,
Or that
she's-
was CD's
yeah,
mom.
no, but I throw a compliment to you guys because there you are. See, you guys are lucid. You guys are realist. That's what I like. You know, I'm coming back to that right away, but the 49ers faithful, right? It's in the title. It's a cult. So it's not good. That's why I turned my back on the Niners and I went for the Seahawks. I call it that. Anyway, Dak, I'm off Dak a little bit.
I think a lot of Cowboys fans are too.
Okay, good. I mean, good. No, but I'm not alone then, so that's cool. Yeah. You know, you have those guys like Mahomes, right? Lamar. Those two, they are like, I don't know, they are special, right? And they get a 250 millions guys, and you get Jalen Hurts, 250 millions. That's stupid. He's not worth that.
No.
And I think Dak is like Jalen. It's like he's like, you know, good days, bad days, same pay. I don't like that in a quarterback. I don't know. That's the vibe I have from him. I don't know what you guys do. You think he has I'm sure he has a fire, but the vibe from the outside, right, from him is like, I don't know. There's something there. I don't know. I'm just not too sold on him, and I would move on. But I know that takes you back, what, 2 years?
Yeah.
Or possibly more.
You know,
I mean, Albin
possibly more. Yes.
Yeah, Albin from France. Like, I mean, the situation is like, who do you go to besides Dak Prescott? We ain't trading anybody for Dak. We can't necessarily go on a whim. You know what it's like to pick up a person in the draft. It's a hit or miss. So even if you do draft that number one quarterback, you might get a Bryce Young, or you could hit and get a CJ Stroud.
That's if you have the top two picks.
If you get
that's even like you essentially have to give up the farm to trade up to get one of those picks, or you have to completely suck for a full year.
Or you have to have something that happened with the 49ers where two of their number one and their number two goes down in a season, and you get they're the last pick of the draft coming in, and he's a solid quarterback for their system within Brock Purdy. And I know that's your arch rival. I didn't mean to bring up the 49ers there, but it's just such a risk that right now there's nobody else in my mind that the Cowboys can go for, or to put their season or their team at this point, with Jerry Jones coming up to dying soon because he's so old, and going for that Super Bowl chance. We have to stick with the guy that we have there. I think that extending Dak for a few more years and then drafting a young quarterback, or taking somebody like Trey Lance and training them to be maybe the person that eventually takes over Dak's role when he goes. But I can't see us moving on from Dak because there's just nobody else. The special person that you mentioned,
I don't think he was even saying moving on from Dak. He just said he felt a little like he didn't think Dak was the guy.
That Dak doesn't have that special sauce that Lamar or Mahomes does, and there's not a lot of quarterbacks that do.
Well, but the thing is, you look at Dak, and I think a lot of the reason that Cowboys fans are starting to get fed up is because the guy goes 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions in the regular season, and then lays a damn egg in the wild card. And it's different if it was the first time, but we've seen this the last 3 seasons in a row. So I'm a little, and we've all been Dak Prescott fans. We're all big Dak Prescott fans, or we were Dak Prescott supporters. But it's just getting to the point that it's kind of like soured on it a bit.
You guys, by default, in fact, just live with it, right? I mean, he's not a tomato can. I mean, the dude is, you know, as you give him his numbers. But like the game in San Fran this year, right? You can't score 10 points and throw picks, and you know what I mean? You got to show up.
No,
and he's not alone, but I mean, it's a QBs, right? If Patrick or what's his name? The other dude. Oh, I'm blanking. If Mahomes goes to Buffalo, right, or throw 5 picks, and that would never happen. This is like delusional, I think. So Dak needs to. I don't know what's different with him in the playoffs.
But you get a guy like Josh Allen, who also hasn't had great playoff succession or
1 in
success. 1 in 5 against quarterbacks that aren't backups, and nobody gives him shit at all. Everyone talks about him being the best quarterback since fucking Joe Montana. So I do think there's a little magnifying glass on how much we hate.
But But I think there is truth.
But, you know,
it is fair because we need those wins to get to the playoffs. But then I think it is fair to critique Dak being the leader of the Cowboys and the entire Cowboys team not showing up to playoff games. There is something there. I think it's a correction in mentality and toughness. And that's something that that's something that I think Dak Prescott can play with and has within him. It's just, how do you get the rest of the team? And I'm not saying that Dak was the only one. I'm thinking that he's part of this as well. They need to come to get over that hump. And how will they do that? You're absolutely that's a fair question.
It's a fair question.
It's a fair question.
You know what? I think you guys' roster is good, right? I mean, I agree with. I'm listening since 3 a.m., so I apologize if I'm blabbering a bit. But
no,
that's all we do. That's all we do is we blabber. It's all good.
Yeah, but you guys do it. You guys do it well. So I mean, I was cracking up.
You're good blabbers.
With you guys.
Well, we appreciate that.
And so anyway, like the roster is, but I don't like Mike McCarthy. I'm sorry, guys. Like Mike Flurry, they call him in Green Bay now, Big Mike Flurry. But I think this guy is flat, right? He's flat. He doesn't. I mean, I know it's a narrative, right? We're not in the building. We're not in the meetings. We're not. But everybody said that. How can these guys are not ready to play, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's look at Andy Reid, right? The dude is not dancing on the sideline.
It's hard not to look at Andy Reid. It's hard not to look at him. Just big guy in red. Big guy in red. It's hard not to see him. That mustache that was frozen, he stands out. But you're right. He's cool and calm.
But I mean, everybody loves this guy, and even Mahomes says this guy is making him better, right? So coaches like that, like even Pete Carroll, people say, well, he's a rah guy, but player likes that. They like it if they believe, your stuff, obviously, but they love that. Look at Harbaugh, right? Of the Ravens. Have you seen him dance in the locker room after the game?
I love Harbaugh's dance. Harbaugh's and dance. I can't even say his fucking name. Harbaugh's dance at the end of a Ravens game.
Yeah, it's called the pleated pants.
Pants dance.
Guys, they had the one of the line coach or whatever. The guy is 60 and he was done. I mean, I think here we go again. I hate this word, but the culture, but it's true. You have to have the culture of winning, and I don't see McCarthy dancing in the middle of the
I agree.
room.
I agree. But hey, we have. I hate to cut this short. We appreciate you calling in
from France.
I have so much more, but I understand.
Oh yeah, but we will.
Yeah.
Give us a final thought here.
Yeah. Definitely. So AFC Championship, right?
Yeah.
I want Lamar to get it. I love Patrick, but this Ravens team, I have so much respect for Harbaugh and his work, and these dudes are violent on defense, right?
Yes.
They're gonna break bones.
Yep.
And I don't think Casey. I mean, they're gonna cue in on Kelsey. I think they can't stop him, but they can limit him, and I don't trust the receivers of KC. I don't know. And on the other hand, it's tough for me because I'm like anxious right now. I'm scared of the game, It's like I'm rooting like you guys for the Cowboys, but me, I don't want the Niners to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like last year with us watching the Eagles the whole time. I'm like, I just want the Eagles to lose, and they just kept winning. Thankfully, they lost in the Super Bowl.
But
So you're in the same boat with us.
Yeah,
how you feel?
You guys are like that too when you're watching the Eagles. You're like so anxious, like if they win, right?
They're the only team I want to lose. The only team I want to lose. Like I'll watch any other game, even this weekend, San Fran versus the Lions. I want the Lions to win, but it's like if San Fran wins, it sucks. But
attaboy.
But if the Eagles are playing, it's cold. It's like no, they can't win.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
no, they can't win though.
One last thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Detroit will make it. I mean, I know I'm biased, but this is America's team right now, besides you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Except for the Baltimore, Kansas City, and the faithful, the cult. All the other fan bases are rooting for the Lions, I think,
Yes.
Oh,
in the
definitely.
NFC.
They definitely are.
It's that
Or
that
against
story.
the Niners.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got Lions, Ravens, and then my heart breaks because I want Lamar to get one, and I want the city of Detroit to get one. I know you guys don't want Detroit to get one because
No,
of the historical stuff.
it
but
would absolutely hurt.
anyway, that's it.
That's a great story.
Yeah, I have more stuff.
Look,
Yeah, sorry. Get Bien-Aimé, though. Get Bien-Aimé as a coordinator. Eric Bien-Aimé.
Hey, before you go,
He's awesome.
before you
Yeah,
go,
sorry.
no, it's okay. We
I'm
do want to
pumped up.
hear, how do you say crack him if you got him in French?
Crack him if you got him.
Crack them if you got them.
How would you say that in French?
Ouvrez la scie tous les ans.
There it is.
That sounds way better than what we say. Sounds like a
Yeah,
tasty.
let's go.
Sounds like
Ouvrez la scie tous les ans.
sounds like a
Say that again?
tasty item on a menu.
Almost
Hey,
sounds
man.
like we're popping some wine.
Yeah, I know, right? Everything sounds a bit, everything a little bit sexy. Right? Oh, Dak is a guy. He's so big. He can throw the ball so well, right? But anyway,
We
love you guys.
yeah,
and
we
good luck
appreciate
in the offseason.
we appreciate the call and fuck the Niners. We'll say
Fuck
that.
the Niners.
Fuck the Niners. All right.
Oh, thank you guys. We can do the F word, so that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
Absolutely.
we can
And
do the
fuck
F word.
Tabernacle.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And Brock Purdy, right?
Fuck
Yeah.
Brock Purdy.
$900,000. Yeah, fuck Brock Purdy. You're right. He's gonna turn the ball over 6 times Sunday.
Yeah.
6 times, 6 picks,
Yes.
3 fumbles. Anyway,
you're gonna crumble.
bye,
Okay,
guys.
Albin from France. We
Yeah.
will see you Sunday. Tune in when we stream the Niners Detroit game.
Yeah, I mean, what time is it? The Niners. It's the second game, right?
Second
Yeah.
game, yep.
Second
It's
game, 3:30
Yeah, so
p.m.
that's
It's gonna be
gonna
like
be-
9 or 10 p.m. for you.
Fuck, it's like 1 o'clock for me a.m. But it's
Oh,
the Niners. I gotta watch.
well, yeah.
All
So-
right, well,
gotta
tune
work
in,
them
brother. Tune in,
tune,
brother.
tune in. We'll be live streaming.
I
it.
will.
All right,
Au
peace.
revoir,
Okay.
mon chéri.
Au revoir, my friend. And shout out to AJ because when AJ went off, and how the fuck is he wide open? This is me cheering for the San Jose Sharks for like 30 years, right? And looking at and the pain and the torture we suffered in the Bay Area for them.
I
love
love
you
it.
guys, and yeah, it's the Sharks. It's like it's the torture.
Yeah.
Torture. And then you get the Knights who are here for 3 years and they already got a cup.
I know it's ridiculous.
I hate the Knights.
I hate them.
Yeah,
Well,
it's ridiculous.
Hey,
All right, brother.
Albin from France.
Yeah.
Have a good day, work day. Teach some English. We'll see you Sunday there, pal.
Peace, brother.
That works. Au revoir, my friend, mes amis.
Mes
Salut.
amis.
Salut.
Peace.
Salut. And we got another chatty chat here. I mean, look, you come in right when we're trying to leave.
I liked it.
I liked
like
it.
That's how we did it. That's how we roll.
Hopefully, this caller is just as good as Albin from France.
Hi, I'm Albin from Italy.
Caller, who do we got on the horn right now?
It's Alonzo from Texas.
Oh, what's up, man?
Oh,
Bitch, I'm from Texas. You know that jam, right?
Yeah, it's I'm sorry, which one?
Anyways, it didn't hit. How you doing, man? How's it going? You depressed? How's your Cowboys depression hitting 2 weeks or a week and a half after the wild card game?
For me, I some reason I expected the Cowboys to lose, or it didn't surprise me they lost. I've given up hope that they're ever going to win another Super Bowl.
I think that's the crack
mean,
we've got.
So I wasn't as disappointed as like the diehard fans. They're like always like, "Oh, Cowboys all the way," this and that. Like, come on, calm it down.
You didn't pull out of one of your 90 guns and shoot your TV or anything crazy like that?
Nah, I'm not that. I mean, I might be a psycho, but I'm not that.
But you felt
Yeah.
you don't feel too bad now. You kind of moved into it. I got a question for you because the Detroit Lions, right, have been the bottom of the NFL for how long? Forever. It's my whole life, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've made it to an NFC championship before the Dallas Cowboys. Does that surprise you? The Cowboys losing might have not surprised you, but does the Lions making it to an NFC Championship game before the Dallas Cowboys in this century, that's got to surprise you a little bit?
Well, let me throw back a question to you. Like, give you another question.
Okay.
How many Super Bowls do the Lions have?
The Lions, 0.
Exactly. So the way I see it in the positive light, where how many teams have gone to the Super Bowl, or much less have won a Super Bowl? What, 10? Like,
Yep.
10 teams that haven't gone to the Super Bowl at least.
Yep.
So I look at it the positive light, where they've got their championships. I mean, yeah, sure, I would like to have. I wish they had more. But sometimes this is one of those things where your team's not cooperating. The quarterback, like Dak, I would say, to take a pay cut to get some more weapons. So they can start being more competitive with in the playoffs.
Well, I do like the fact that you said how many Super Bowls they've won, right? Everyone puts this emphasis, and I was doing it just 5 minutes ago, 50 seconds ago, on like making it to an NFC Championship game. It's like Niners fans. Sure, they've made it. This is their third in a row for the NFC Championship game. The last time they won a Super Bowl was longer than the Cowboys have won a Super Bowl.
But Anth, you're acting like a beaten wife, because you're like, yeah, but this year he only beat me 200 days of the year.
But you know what I mean. But you know what I mean, though.
No, I totally agree.
I agree. Sorry, what was your name?
Alonzo.
I agree with Alonzo. It should come down to titles, realistically.
Yeah.
You play to win a Super Bowl, right? Like that's the number one goal. And if you start taking teams that have won Super Bowls, and yeah, sure, the Cowboys are 28 plus years ago, and then you go even further, it's like 45 years ago. Yeah. But there's teams that are even longer. The Lions, 0. The Niners, 30 years ago. The whoever, this many years ago. So I do think there is credence to that. And the ultimate goal isn't to make an NFC Championship. It isn't to make a Super Bowl. The ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl. And there's lots of teams that have done that, including the San Francisco 49ers, have made it to multiple Super Bowls in the last 15 years, and they've lost both of them. So I don't know how that's
they lost them.
Exactly. So I do like the fact that you said that.
I got a quick question before we actually, sorry, you called in. Like we're just starting to pepper you with questions. Was there anything? Was there anything you wanted to ask us that you were dying to know?
I just wanted to ask you what was the topic, for tonight. Cause I know it's still, the Dak situation still a sour note, I guess. I mean, besides, what was the topic?
A couple big topics for tonight, like that. Obviously, coming into the show, we were talking to. I mean, when we're prepping the show, it's like, what's some of the news that people are looking for? So the Cowboys players family drama was a thing that we need to talk about. But I think because we're in the off season, at least at the Can Fan room here, we're very optimistic. We know the things that aren't going to change. Obviously, they didn't make any coaching changes from Mike McCarthy. DQ might be on his way out. He might be signing with the Seahawks as we speak. We don't know. So we automatically go to who's available, what's some drafts look like. Let's talk about what this team could and
family dramas.
Yeah, and family dramas. Yeah, that's
as far as I think the Cowboys are headed to last year or after the Eagles their season when they ended and they lost their coordinators.
Yep.
I think the Cowboys are headed toward that same direction. They're gonna struggle a lot this coming year.
Well, thankfully, our offensive coordinator was also our head coach, so we can't lose that guy. But yeah, I mean, so my question to you, Alonzo from Texas, are you?
Well, our offensive coordinator wasn't our head coach, but our offensive play caller was our head coach.
Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Thank you for correcting me.
So we could still
no changes.
We could still.
Do you really care if we lose Shoddy though?
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
I do.
Shoddy's not going anywhere.
No, I don't think so. I mean, no, I don't think so. But I mean, like I said, their defensive corner, I think it's going to be a huge hit next year. I mean, I don't know how good this other guy is. I guess the guy's underling, is an understudy to see how well he does.
But we don't even right now. But Dan Quinn technically isn't out yet.
He's not out yet. But you know that age old saying. But you don't know what you got till it's gone.
But,
You know?
I think Jerry Jones is probably sweet talking him, probably offering as much money as possible to keep him for another year. Because I mean, obviously, you have Mark McCarthy for another year. It makes more sense to try to do whatever you can to keep him, right? To definitely make a push for the Super Bowl.
You're thinking
they
to keep
also
you
think
want
have to change
you want to keep the band together.
as much as possible because I mean, 12 wins. What they gone? What 12 wins the past 3 seasons? How many teams would kill to be at that level? You know, getting 12 wins for the past 3 seasons. I mean, not many teams can do that. I know you get one year they're good, next year they drop off. So
Alonzo, are you saying I'm wrong in and look, this is not an aggressive. I'm not in your face poking your chest. Okay,
I was hoping he just said yes.
No, we're sitting.
I was
down.
hoping he just said yes.
No, we are sitting down. We're drinking coffee. We're just having a relaxing Monday morning together. And I'm asking you, am I wrong in thinking that we need some sort of new look in Dallas? It's not coming from the offense because they re-signed or they didn't, get rid of Mike McCarthy, and he's going to bring back his same boys from the offense. So the only way that we can really change is either releasing some players, and like that's just not the smartest place to start. So keep everyone together. Like then there's no change. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just, that's just kind of where my mentality was, is like get something new in there.
They invested so much time, so much money. Again, going back to Dak, he's owed $60 million. It's they're stuck with him regardless for another year. So just I guess give him another year to see what happens.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know. It could be worse. Like I said, I remember those dark ages after Troy Aikman retired. Emmitt Smith and everybody. Those were some dark times.
Quincy
So,
Carter, Drew Bledsoe, fucking Vinny Testaverde as your quarterback. Like people forget about that shit, right? And then that's
he who should not be named.
Well, there was 5 quarterbacks. I don't even know the other 2 names, but between Romo and Aikman, there was 5 quarterbacks who all sucked, who all were awful.
It's
like
not
terrible.
easy. Let's say this. I think everyone, God help you if you don't have this fucking thought in your head. It's not easy to go out there and find a top 15 starting quarterback in the NFL.
You got one
it's
as
not
your
easy.
QB right now.
Right.
No. They're kind of. Well, I don't know. Based on what the Packers have done with Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and now Jordan Love,
yeah,
they're doing something right. And there's no coincidence. They're developing their quarterback. They're performing at top, like high caliber quarterbacks. Top tier quarterbacks. Jordan Love is only going to get better, I believe. And they're going to get and the Packers are going to get even better next year. They're going to be even tougher next year.
So one move, if you get one move, you get one single move to make the Cowboys better, and then we got another caller, so we're going to move to him. You get one move. What would you do if you had to do one move? You get one, no matter what it is. You could potentially get rid of Jerry Jones if you wanted. You
don't
get to
do
decide.
it, Alonzo.
One simple move.
Don't get rid of Jerry.
I would have Mike McCarthy be more of a fucking dick and asshole and start, benching players, bitching them out, like getting their faces.
Hell yeah.
Because they're like that's called
that fire.
That word. That fire. Discipline.
Are you worried that if he tried doing that, he might have a heart attack?
No, Mike McCarthy calls that animal style.
I like that. You know what, Alonzo? That's actually great. I would if I had what. That's a great. That's an underrated. That's underrated.
It's like, hey, let's get some fire.
Get some fire. Get in someone's face. Bench them if they do something. You get a penalty you get a penalty at an important time. Oh, weird. Now you're not playing for the rest of the game.
There's no repercussions. These guys don't fear. Dak, he threw over 10 interceptions last year. Never once was he benched. I think he would have benefited from a benching. Not for the entire season, but for like a game or rest of the game, whatever. Half a game, whatever.
Well, I'll give you this. What about a guy that jumps offside on a 3rd and 4 in an important game? Jumps offside. Now they get a first down. The team goes down and score. That's another thing. You're off. You're not playing for the next 4 series.
Exactly. They were so undisciplined. That's one of the reports they keep hearing. they weren't ready for they lacked either discipline, either on penalties were committed. They were just, I mean, they didn't manage the time correctly. I've seen Dak where he threw passes like under the short of the first down. Well, hey, wait a minute, you have to get it into past the first down.
Sounds like you hate Dak.
Even like when and then even like when they played the Packers last week, I mean, he's lucky they got that penalty, going to the half where they scored a touchdown because they were short. I mean, I think they would have just, the clock would have run out, but that goes to discipline, making sure their players are prepared for that stuff, and they don't, and that's what they're lacking, I think.
Yeah.
To take it to the next level.
So Alonzo, we get it. You hate Dak Prescott. You want to fire him. Listen.
You want a clear house?
Listen, if you're watching the games this weekend, hop on in. We're going to be live streaming them this weekend. We definitely appreciate your call, Alonzo from
guys,
Texas. Yeah, hey, we're going to be drinking too, so let's drink together.
All right, whiskey. All right, guys. Whiskey.
Hell yeah,
whiskey.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Alonzo
Hey,
from
thanks,
Texas.
Alonzo from Texas.
Thank you,
Peace,
sir.
brother.
Hey, have a good one. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, we got another caller in the house. It's our boy, James. I live in Philadelphia, but I'm a Cowboys fan. Knight.
Ooh.
Is that his username?
No, but that's James Knight. He lives in Philadelphia. He granted us safe passage when we do a Philly game.
You got to realize, Alex and I aren't the people's champs.
Yeah, I know. That's why I preface that.
No, I love it. I appreciate it.
James, are you up in the? I think we might be having. James, you there, buddy?
Yo.
How's it
What's
going?
up?
What's going on, guys?
How's it going, man? You surviving in Philadelphia right now? You're in Philadelphia right now? What's that like?
Yeah.
What's that like?
I live just outside.
Tell me you don't live in
Philadelphia.
Kensington.
No, good God, no.
Okay.
No.
James, I don't even know what ad said. James, I'm from Philadelphia. Granted Can Fan Passage. Knight from the chat who lives in Philadelphia.
No, I said James. I live by Philadelphia, but I'm a Cowboys fan. Knight.
All right, hey man, welcome to the line. Your voice and your feed I don't know if you're on a phone or what, but it sounds crispy.
Crispy.
Oh hell yeah! Hey, I got like a little setup like you guys.
Nice. It sounds great. Sounds
yeah.
very, very. When you first said something, I thought one of the guys over there was playing a soundbite.
And the latency
it's great.
Crisp.
It's crisp.
I love it.
Oh hell yeah!
James,
Hell yeah,
James, we'll have to get you on when we do our draft shows leading up to the draft.
Oh,
get you coming in on the thoughts because you do sound crispy. You're in almost every single episode, so it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice that you're calling in.
And what?
Hell yeah!
What are you calling in for? What's on your mind, my dude?
Hey, I honestly just wanted to give you guys a chat. This is like the first time it's like a live chat for me, so I just wanted to show you guys some love, man. And I wanted to tell like a little story if I can.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
go for it.
Yes,
dude,
definitely.
Hey, this is your show, brother.
So I was flying back from LA to Philly on game day against the Packers, and the whole flight I was just tense the whole flight. I couldn't think about anything else. I forced myself to go to sleep, and as soon as we landed, I was just waiting for that opportunity to just turn my phone off of airplane mode to see the score, and I'm like, yes.
Oh God!
It's gonna be like 40 to 6.
No.
This is good. This is gonna be wonderful. Like I'm blocking out all the negativity. I was like, this is gonna be great. I popped my phone on. It's the complete opposite.
Oh, James.
So I'm like, okay.
Dude,
so
that's tough.
My friend is with me, and she's like, okay, is it bad? I was like, let's not talk about it. Let's just get off.
That means yes. that means yes. Is it bad? I don't want to talk about it. That's more so than a yes than a yes.
And so we're landing in Philadelphia, so I'm just like, let's just avoid everyone as much as we can.
James, for story's sake, are you wearing any Cowboys swag at all?
No, but like
okay, that's good at least.
I'm wearing like gray pants and like a navy shirt, so I'm kind
underwear.
of
Don't leave out underwear.
Yeah, definitely the gray underwear.
Okay.
That's almost like if you're going into you're landing in Philadelphia. Those colors, they don't see labels or anything. They just see the colors, and they're like, you're done.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So like the first thing after she says that, and I answer, we're getting off. We're going through that little tunnel when you get off the plane, and right behind me, I hear that like that familiar, terrible accent, like the fucking Cowboys are getting their backs blown out.
You guys see the game?
Packers are whooping their ass. I'm like, oh my god, can we just go home?
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
thank God fucking Philly bit the bullet
They-
too.
Well, that
And
in
they
a
got
dismal fashion.
Thank fuck.
Yes.
Thank
Well,
fuck
yes.
they got smoked.
That's the only silver lining.
Man, I was like Sunday after I woke up hungover. I woke up the next day and I was like, because by halftime we started drinking. pretty
Hungover
heavy.
and being like, was it just a night?
Yeah, I know. I like kind of woke up. I was like, that
Did that happen?
actually happened. And then I was like, okay, the only thing that's going to kind of make me feel less
On
shitty
par.
is an Eagles loss. And then they got smoked. So like an Eagles win would have just been, and because we know, and you, James, you know this because you live there. They were all talking hardcore shit Saturday night. The Saturday night, the Eagles fans were everywhere talking shit.
Oh, they were popping up in our messages.
They were there talking
everything.
shit. So that loss was. I mean, it sucks. Obviously, the Cowboys lost, but I mean, an Eagles loss is still pretty. It's nice to see. It was good to see.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I my friend back in LA who was also born and raised in this area. He's a diehard Eagles fan, and he sent me a text that night. And it was like, "This is the loss is probably your fault because you didn't stay an extra day to watch the game." So I sent him a nice little. I didn't say anything, and then that next night I sent him a nice little meme of the Bart and Homer sitting on the couch, and I was like, "Hey,
yes,
come here,
come join us."
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great meme.
That's a good meme.
Good. Yeah.
The Rick and Morty one where where
that was
that's a good one where they
hilarious.
go through like a playoff portal and anyways, well
Here's the thing: we could find common ground together, but it's just not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
You don't talk shit to a divisional rival that just lost that played the day before you.
Yes,
You shut your fucking mouth.
And you
wait till you win,
and then
you talk shit like a normal person.
Yeah.
You don't talk shit.
Big error.
Big error, especially when you're on a 5 of 6 game losing streak.
A massive slide.
Like that, you just shut your mouth. You hope that you win, and then go back and spout your cheesecake or cheesesteak eating mouth off at whoever you want. But just shut up for 24 hours. That's all it takes. And they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. So that to me is karma. Like me, if the Eagles would have played the Saturday and lost,
you're not saying shit.
I'm not saying shit until the Cowboys win, and then it's fucking. I'm talking shit to everybody, but you gotta wait. You gotta wait that 24 hours, man. You have to.
Philly and Dallas, as much as I hate to admit it, we're like weird cousins. We're very similar.
Yeah.
Like we should get along more than we do, but we're just not. Like we hate all the same we hate the same teams.
Yep.
But we also hate each other.
Yeah, we're neighbors and we fucking hate everyone else, but we're more concerned with
you hate your whole street, but you hate each other so much because you're beside each other.
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Hey, James. Quick question here, man. What do you feel is the most dire need for draft for Cowboys? You can give us your top need or your top 3 needs, whatever is kind of easier for your mind, or pick 2. I don't care.
I think for me, I would say somewhere on the defensive line, we need help. And I think a running back may be the smartest thing to go for if we're not gonna pick up like a Derrick Henry or something.
Yeah, because the RB contracts, like we were just looking earlier, there is a lot of availability, but
it's gonna cost you.
Is that gonna be like the numbers that we saw? I do think all the numbers that we looked at are going to be slightly more inflated.
Add 10%, 10 to 20% on everything.
Exactly,
that
absolutely, and potentially more. And it really comes down to if player A goes for 50% more than what he's expected. Now everyone's contract comes up, so I think finding a running back in draft is a much more affordable, and also like you get many more years out of that player too. And you find a guy with a nice big body
they're 22.
And they're 22 years old. I mean,
23, maybe 24 even at the max.
Do all contracts get the 5-year option?
No, just like first rounders.
Okay.
First rounders will all have the 5th-year option. Anything
Which
after
is
that.
huge.
Just huge. Yeah, definitely it is. But like second years, no. You get the top guys get the 5th-year option. Nothing else.
Second rounds and up.
Yeah. You don't. You get the faux show.
Okay, well, I like that. Yeah, running back for sure.
I like running back too. And there's a couple guys in the draft that look good. Man, it's just the running game. And we kind of, I don't know if we were undercutting it or underscoring it for ourselves, but like every time we were like, well, Tony Pollard didn't really play bad. It was more so the running game as a unit, right? Like, I don't think Tony Pollard was a bad piece. I just don't think our offensive line, for whatever reason, they were decent at pass blocking, but then it got into the run game and we just didn't have holes. Tony Pollard wasn't having those 5, 6, 7-yard lanes open until he had to actually do something. It was just a weird spot.
We didn't have any bruiser to like force open a hole.
You need a dude. You need a guy that, like how Zeke was, that will run for the first quarter and a half and just take those hits, and then you get TP out there and just totally spins it fast, right? We didn't have that, and I want to see that.
We need a violent running back.
Definitely.
Like just somebody who's just gonna take like somebody like I like the way Isaiah Pacheco runs.
Oh, Pacheco's my favorite running back in the NFL.
He reminds me so much of Marion Barber.
He's like mini Marion. He's like a mini Marion Barber. He just runs like you're like that guy wants to fucking hit somebody. That guy, and he's just he's not the same size as Marion Barber. He's a bit smaller, but he still runs like he wants to hurt somebody. That's just what he looks like. And I agree. Isaiah Pacheco is probably my favorite, like style-wise, running back in the NFL. And he was a 6th-round pick. So there's value. Like you could find that dude somewhere, but you have to
you can't bank on it, but it can happen.
It could happen, but I agree. James, Isaiah Pacheco is probably my favorite running back to watch in the NFL.
Yes.
Well, you're going to be
and
watching
shout
this
out
weekend.
to Tony Pollard, man. He had a 1,000-yard season.
Tony Pollard's going to get paid somewhere. Tony Pollard's going to get paid. Someone's going to pay him. Someone that has a lot more cap room than the Cowboys. And watch, he'll probably go on and be an absolute fucking stud. He just needs another piece to it. I
like most NFL running backs do.
Well, and it might be fault to the Cowboys for not maybe using Dowdle more.
Yeah.
They should have beat defenses up a little bit more with Dowdle and then thrown TP at them. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
It's easy to say that. I mean, we look at TP20 and it's like, oh, TP20, why doesn't he do much? But then you say the words, he had a 1,000-yard season. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, TP20 was still
1,300-yard all-purpose.
1,000 yards. 1,000 yards used to be the benchmark for a running back. Hit 1,000 yards, you had a good season.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah. It's just weird how we rank that stuff now.
Well, because we saw him last year. You saw TP20. So, James, final thoughts here. Give us some final stuff. Anything that you want to do. If you had today, right now, you are Jerry Jones, and don't say salt a burger, because we know Jerry wants to salt something.
I'm salting it up.
But if you could do anything with the Cowboys right now, change anything, do anything, what would it be?
If I could do anything right now, I don't know, man.
Lower the ticket prices.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We would appreciate it.
If I was Jerry Jones, I'd say, hey, look, I got at best 3 more years left on Earth.
Yep.
Let's just take a step back and let some coaches just coach. And you know what? I'll stay out of it. I'll just stay in the booth.
Yep.
I'll just clap and be a show pony. Just do it. Try something different. Let's see if that works before I die.
How likely do you think that is?
Oh, it's not going to happen.
As long as Jerry Jones has blood pumping in his veins.
He's talking. He's saying something. For sure.
Well, and he's somewhere now getting new teeth or something. Like
definitely.
Oh, I don't. Are his teeth even real? That's the question that we should put out there. Jerry Jones' teeth real?
He's on his 3rd set of teeth.
Yeah. James, you said you have a pretty slick setup. Do you run a show? Like, do you have anything that you want to shut yourself out to while you got everybody listening to every word you say?
Ooh, yeah, actually. I am a stand-up comedian in the great city of Philadelphia.
Okay.
And,
that's a tough city, my dude. Lots of great comedians.
A lot of great comedians coming out of there.
Yeah. And despite
you
our
know Shane
differences in
Gillis?
football teams. Yeah, he's a nice guy. I only met him like once or twice.
Nice.
Okay.
Dude, dope.
Long time ago, but he was a very, very chill guy.
I feel like we know Shane Gillis now.
Yeah.
Because we've chatted.
Yeah, our buddy James knows you,
Everyone
Shane.
I talk to tomorrow, yeah, I know one of my good buddies that
Yeah,
we
our
have
buddy
on the
James?
show all the time. He
Oh,
knows Shane Gillis.
believe
No,
me,
our
he
buddy
could
James
pick-
from our buddy James from Philly. No, he hangs out with them all the time.
Believe me, he could pick me out of a lineup. I'm probably the only one that remembers that interaction.
Okay.
That's all good.
But yeah, I have a podcast where I talk to comedians like every other comedian does. It's called Critical James Theory. It's on YouTube.
Oh, sick.
It's on
Okay.
all the things. So if you're interested,
Oh yeah, we got
give me,
AJ writing that
give me
down
a
right
thing.
now. We got AJ writing that down right now.
We're all big comedy fans here, James. So we're gonna definitely like and subscribe, and we're gonna check your shit out, dog. And we're absolutely gonna get you on. Now that we know you sound tasty and crispy,
Yeah, man.
like you're,
Like I
Fucking
said, when
A.
you first said something, I was like, "Holy shit!" I thought one of the guys played a sound.
do we have a WWE run-in right now that's happening? Someone just showing up. Can you smell what James is cooking?
Yeah, it caught me off guard a little bit. I almost spilled my drink. No joke. Hey James, we appreciate that, man. That's awesome.
We'll
Hell yeah, but
we'll link you in the show notes, and we'll toss it up in there.
I appreciate that, guys. Before I get out of here, can I give you a salty crack 'em if you got 'em?
Yes,
Oh,
get
yeah,
it.
baby.
Salt it
keep
up.
going.
Salt it up.
Crack 'em if you got 'em. boys.
Yes,
Oh!
sir. I think that's a great way to finish this episode, fellas. Man, good call-ins, good talk. 2.5 hours. We rolled 2.5 hours off season. This off season is gonna be as juicy as James's voice.
Hey-o.
We will be here, possibly streaming the AFC Championship, definitely streaming the NFC Championship.
We're gonna get crazy this Sunday.
You gotta
kids.
go to youtube.com/@CowboysCanFan to find out, baby.
There it is. And I'm gonna lead out with what James did. Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. I can't believe we just met Shane Gillis.